UGA, game day, boy, we ball out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach, and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense, hunker down for the tie. Hey, hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We doing a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape, the tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape, the
Shut
tape.
up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape.
The tape.
Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. The tape. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Thursday evening. We got an absolutely loaded show for you guys tonight, or as we say around here, come Thursday nights, last show, best show. We got 2 hours to finish this weekend, or this week off, rather, as we go into week 12 of college football. We got a great one for you guys tonight, and based off pre-show talks, it's going to be one of those Thursday shows around this network. We got final thoughts here on a Thursday, unless it doesn't happen, of course, here on a Thursday. We've got quarterback rankings randomly making an appearance on a Thursday. Guys, we just had too much stuff going on this week. I mean, Tuesday was, college football playoff rankings. And Tuesday altered time start too. Wednesday, we had all of our predictions, too many to get to. We've got quarterback rankings tonight as well. And of course, we've got news to talk about tonight as the college football playoff selection committee goes through an upheaval and a change in the middle of the damn season. So we got that to talk about. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, firing off in the chat. Obviously, a lot of options tonight on a Thursday night. College football going on. I think that Sunday league's playing on Thursday. Who cares about that? It's a super competitive night on the internet and on the television. So make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Maybe we can get in front of some new people here on a Thursday night. That is you guys' responsibility in the chat. So be firing off in there and getting after it. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Here we go. Let's get to work. Guys, the college football playoff, not just a member of the committee, the chairman, the guy that is sent in front of the media, sent in front of ESPN to defend the committee's selections, has had to step down due to I'm going to classify as a personal conflict, okay? This is all allegedly based off the reading that I did today. Brooks reads, so you don't have to. Mark Rhodes, the athletic director at Baylor, who was in charge of being the chairman of the College Football Playoff Committee, is stepping down allegedly due to a physical altercation that he had with both a player and reports I read today. He also put his hands on a coordinator as well out there. I think he's even stepping away from his Baylor job. Hunter Yurachek, the athletic director at Arkansas, now going to take his place. Hunter Yurachek in the news most recently because he let the world know that Arkansas doesn't really care about football. So that's awesome. He's now the head of this committee. I stumbled upon my take. I don't really have a take on this. Maybe you guys do. Maybe we can have this big upheaval process. This is stupid. The whole process is broke. We got people who are non-ball knowers and non-ball lovers making these decisions. These are really, really important decisions. I obviously got takes on that. But my main take is how to fix this. I've never really given an opinion on this. I don't labor or harbor to do anything like this. I'm not out here, trying to be the commissioner of college football because I think people like Josh Pate are much better for that role than somebody who flies off the cuff as much as I do, okay? It's not something that I aspire to be. That being said, we got to fix this stuff. And I think we all agree that we have to fix this. And here's how I would, lobby to do this, all right? Here's how I think it should be done. We should have a computer model, whether it's the BCS model, whatever it is. Bring me a computer model and then give me 6 humans. And these 6 humans are going to be elected officials. All right, every 4 years, they got to go up and argue and define why they should be the person that's selected to be a harborer, right? A decision maker of college football. We rotate them every 4 years. There is no long-standing person, right? And we just do it that way. Not, hey, why is Condoleezza Rice on the first one of these? Do y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on? What are we doing? Like, these people are in charge of making the most pivotal decisions that we have in the world of college football. And we as fans in the world of college football don't get any say in who those people are. That is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. All right, I find that college football fans are far more passionate and far more connected to their sport than any other fandom in the world of sports, in at least American sports.
Yeah.
All right, I think pro sports has a lot of people watching it because there's a lot of people gambling on it. I think the people watching this one, the people watching this, they care. I know they care because they pay our bills, right? They show up and help us, right? I know they do. And I go to these places in these massive venues on Saturdays and I see these people. Yet they have no say, zero, in the people that make the decisions on their sport. That's goofy. I think there should be at least 6 or 7, however many. I think it should be an even number and then give me a computer model to maybe break some of these ties. But that's what I think we should do, not just 12 random people that are somewhat associated to football and somewhat have these like weird ties to the sport and to these conferences. Goof. Give me 6 elected officials that we, the people, get to put in place.
It does marry a happy medium because the BCS.
Where's that echo coming from?
An echo.
Is it the headphones?
I don't hear an echo. Anyway, it does kind of marry this happy medium of we hated the BCS system because it was solely. Oh, it's the board. I hear it now.
I thought I was losing my mind.
I didn't hear it until he started talking.
Interesting.
Whew, I thought I was losing my mind.
Anyways,
good.
But it does marry it because we hated the BCS system because it was way too reliant on computers. Computers don't watch the games. They don't understand that Ohio State's really a better football team than Notre Dame or yada, 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 all that. Then we relied solely on humans. The problem is now humans are flawed beings. We're seeing this in the exact example we're seeing today.
It is too late in the week for something like that to happen to me auditorially, man.
Yeah, thankfully our audience didn't have to experience it because we had that taken care of preemptively, but
You guys are certified professionals. Y'all can handle that. This ADD brain that's caffeinated like this on a Thursday night, hell no. That was going to toss me for a whirlwind.
Just got to lock in.
But do you have any thoughts on the idea that the face of the selection committee, is having to not only step down from this job, but also the job at Baylor?
Well, what I was going to say is that it seems like we've had a few mishaps with the people who are representing this college football playoff committee because
they walked themselves into the one last year.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I was going to bring up is we had Michigan, who's in the middle of fighting off a scandal, a cheating scandal, having all of that happening, and then that's the person that's representing the college football playoff committee. Now we have this one happening, and then in substitute of that person, we're bringing on an athletic director who kind of is open about college football. It's there, it exists. We do what we can, but we're kind of focused on these other sports.
Yeah, I think that the issue that you have with it is it's the person who's representing it. At the end of the day, Boot Carrigan wasn't making decisions solely by himself. It was the group of committee. It was the committee as a whole that I think we had a problem with. The person they choose to represent it certainly could be better, but at the end of the day, them having to step down, I don't think is that damning to the committee. We already don't really trust them, so.
What are your thoughts on my model? Give me the BCS computer model and 6 elected officials that rotate every 4 years. And maybe we can stagger half of them, put almost like the Olympics, winter and summer, so we're not re-electing a whole body every 4 years. Maybe re-elect half of them every other year or every 2 years.
Or just do it like the Supreme Court and they're on there for life.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
I think
I want these people to have to re-earn it.
That seems like, to me, you would reach a happy medium because, I mean, there's people in our chat right now saying that they wish the BCS was back. They wish that was how we measured these college football playoff teams. So I think if you did that while also giving and providing the opportunity for personal input as well, I think that would kind of be a happy medium in my opinion.
Which, honestly, the BCS was a flawed system because it narrowed it down to one or two. Would the BCS be that bad if it was 12 teams to pick from? Like, the nuances between who the third best team and the first best team in college football, I get that. But when you open it up to 12.
Well, we said this about the human element of it, and we still argue whether or not they get the right 12.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree.
And you're also, you, like everybody else, like me, every time we talk about these expand it, just like you just mentioned, we argued 1 to 3. We'd argue 13 versus 12.
That's the issue with the expansion.
You know, and we're going to argue 15 versus 16 and 16 versus 17.
Yeah, no, never mind.
And we're going to do that. So
that's a bad idea. You're right.
Yeah, it kind of spins in and on it. It spins on itself with that argument. I think, like I said, give me 6 voted officials. Give me a computer model. It doesn't have to be BCS. Give me a computer model, and then keep it pushing. You know, instead of. And I would like to know. Like, dude, we cover this sport. I don't know those 12 people that are put in charge of this.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you their names. That I don't feel like and this is why I think they should be elected officials, that you're taking time out of your day, like your whole year. Like, it should be your whole year. It shouldn't be, oh, we're going to get into a room and watch them on Saturday. No, like, you need to be studying these teams. You need to know who they are. Like, this is a major thing. Billions of dollars are moved based off of these decisions.
Yeah,
it shouldn't just be 12 people showing up on Saturday eating hot dogs with relish.
I was literally about to say,
talking ball. That's
like,
not what it should be.
Like cheese and crackers in a lounge. We're going to sit here for 5 hours and watch some football games. And
Dead
then
ass.
we'll make
That's
our
what
decisions.
we have. That's what we have. Deciding where the billions of dollars go and how it gets pushed around in this sport. That's asinine.
I agree.
This should be your life. Like, you should be locked in. And that's what, I mean, I'm not, again, not lobbying to be it. Not lobbying to be it. I don't care to be anything like this. But it should be a paid role. Like, this is $1 billion. Like, these contracts get sold for $12 billion in the TV contracts. You tell me the 12 people in the room should make $200,000 to help make this decision, or whatever the pay structure is. I think it should be a real thing. That's my take. All right, I got some other news. You want it?
Let's hear more news.
I got QB rankings.
Oh.
And football brain happened again. What happened? Who did I leave off this week?
Trinidad
I
Chambers.
left Trinidad Chambers. And look, what's crazy about my leave-offs every single week is it's guys that I'm first to the table for. Like last week, it was Marcel Reed getting messed up on the national rankings. I was first to the table on Marcel, I feel like, from a national, this guy deserves conversation for a top quarterback rankings. I don't know who be out here doing rankings.
I don't know. I threw out there that Marcel Reed was my most favorite
give you
watch in
some
the
hatred
SEC,
on
and
that
you kind of shut that down on me.
You know what?
a
You're supposed to
bit.
be my yes man on this desk right now. I don't need you pushing back.
I'm just saying.
I don't need not on a Thursday.
The show as a
Not on a Thursday.
collective was a fan of Marcel Reed. We'll put it that way.
You're a yes man.
I didn't say you were a yes man. I said tonight I need a yes man. This segment right now, I need a yes man. In fact, I might need a hype man. Hey, I might need one. I might need some I might need something back there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, get back there, Jay.
J-Will, do you want SEC or do you want all of college football?
All of college football.
You know what, sir? You got it.
Let's go.
You know who I've been looking at lately? Have you seen what Kevin Jennings is doing the last couple of games?
Not particularly.
I know. But because it's SMU football and you're not really glued in because they're not, in the contentions right now for a playoff spot. But he's been ripping for like 350 a game the last 3 weeks against, the best that the ACC has to offer. So there it is. I've been seeing Kevin Jennings. I've been seeing Bear Bachmeier. It wasn't all that great this past weekend as a collective for the football team, but it is what it is. Demont Williams, another one. It was a tough weekend for Washington out there losing to them Badgers, getting beat up by a punter throwing for 24 yards. That's tough. Ooh. That's a tough loss for them Huskies. Number 10, off of the great on a bad team because you got a chance to win your conference, my Darian Mensah.
He's back. He's back on the spoon.
Hey, back like he ain't never left because he never did. I've been paying attention. Mensah been ripping it all year, dude. Every single week been getting after it, except for that one time he played Illinois. Don't look at that, though.
Yeah, Mensah has not been the issue for Duke. At times it's been the defense. The defense has been giving up too many points.
Manny Diaz going to come for you right about now. Number 9, Joey Aguilar. I got to see it again this weekend. Can we well, not this weekend. You're playing a slap dick.
Yeah.
Next week, can we remain turnover free? It's a big one for Josh Heupel and that staff next week against Florida.
Yep.
They haven't beaten those guys, have they? Well, not in Gainesville. They haven't won in Gainesville in like 20 years, right? Tennessee fans, help me out here. I don't think you've won there in the last 9 trips, which means you haven't won in Gainesville in 18 years because you play there every other year. Isn't that how math works?
I'm pretty sure.
Will you look that up for me?
I'm doing that right now.
We're going to find that out. Number 8, Gunnar Galacton.
Oh.
Number 8. Number 7, CJ Carr, the Big Ripper. Huge chunks on that dude's tape. What's up?
Tennessee has not beaten Florida, I believe, since 2003 in Gainesville.
It's been a long time.
So that would be 23 years, 22 years?
Yeah.
22.
That's 11 trips to Gainesville. 0 for 11. Will they break the streak next week? We'll find out. We'll talk a lot about that one next week, I would imagine. Number 6, Haynes King, buzz down. Any thoughts on Haynes King?
A miracle that he's made it this far in the season, the way he plays the game.
Yeah, you would imagine their strength, or not the strength and conditioning staff, their athletic training staff, probably pretty superb.
Well,
I
I would
mean-
also
That guy up
I would
right over
also
these years.
say that they really haven't put him in a position or the same position that he was in last year, where they were running the rock a whole lot more last year than they have been this year. It's been a lot of explosive passes that they've earned. They're not keeping the ball as long on offense this year, so really not that many opportunities.
Not as
to
many
do-
exposures.
Right.
This is true, but I remember watching that Colorado game week 1 ago.
Oh,
He's
no,
not
yeah,
making
yeah,
it
yeah.
out
Wow.
of this season.
They've
Looking
altered.
back at that, if they play Colorado today, they're winning by 50.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
That was that we're going to get up once type of Colorado Buffalo performance.
that was that. We're going to have 2 turnovers in 3 plays and make that a close game because of that.
Number 5, Chance. Number 5, Chance. We'll just leave it at Chance. And those who know. Shout out to Chance. I hope it's loud for 4. Do you think they can really do that
Oh,
for 4 quarters?
Chance with a T.
Yeah, now you get it. Shout out to Chance. Do you think they can do it for 4 quarters?
I'd love to see it.
If there's a fan base
I don't know if
there-
I'd love to hear it.
That's
though.
a long
As much as I
time.
love Chance, I don't know if I'd love to hear a singular chant for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, is Chance really worthy of a Heisman push right
No.
now, or is that they're great as a team out there at A&M?
I mean, I think that Marcel Reed has certainly had moments that would put him in the conversation of maybe being a Heisman contender, but they're collectively.
the pure,
Hot take: Marcel Reed and Gunnar Stockton's Heisman campaign should be equal.
Yeah, I would agree with
I
that.
agree with that.
Like, it's not that those 2 players have been just individually great as to why their teams have been successful this year, but those 2 players have had great individual moments themselves that have led their team to these moments.
Number 4, Dante Moore. Might stay at number 4 just for the rhyming of such. Number 3, Julian Sayin, who has quickly, through 9 games, crawled 10 starts, crawled all the way from unranked on my list, rightfully so, to number 3. And guess what? Still not enough for Buckeye fans. They want him all the way 1. I'm an idiot. I got quote tweeted with quote unquote film guy by an Ohio State fan for only having him number 3. Number 2, the man who I always want to call Francisco, Fernando Mendoza, in there at number 2. Not a great 4 quarters against Penn State, but the great last play, great last drive, honestly. It was like 5 or 6 big-time throws
Yeah, I mean,
in that one.
For as much as his game against Penn State doesn't jump out on the stat sheet, I felt like he played a really good football game. Had obviously a late read on a deep out late in that game, but other than that, he was making things happen against a Penn State defense that was getting after him and getting after him quickly.
And number 1, any guesses?
Ty Simpson.
Ty
You would be
Simpson.
correct. You'd be correct. He's also number 1 on my SEC list. Marcel Reed, number 2. Gunnar Stockton, number 3. Joey Aguilar, number 4. Arch Manning, number 5. Good potential this weekend to leapfrog some folks. I mean, honestly, if he goes bar for bar and outguns Gunnar, he's got to jump a ball. I think so. He's got to go over Joey. He's got to go over Gunnar.
Now, hang on.
What?
You subscribe to the theory that one bad game doesn't drop you that much. Why is it if you have one good game, you're leapfrogging all the
Because
way?
he's had the great last 2 quarters against Mississippi State. I thought it was really, really good against Vandy, and he's about to go play a great defense on the road in a hostile environment at night.
All right.
And you know how much I had early on, how much early stock I had in this guy.
Trying to
Right there
get
in that
value.
list. Right there in that list is Trinidad, by the way. Right there at 6. At number 7, Diego Pavia. At number 8, from the Erie Mateer. Back in it, the running game, full force out there at Oklahoma. Feels like he's getting back to somewhat of himself. Ball's popping too. It's just missing right a little bit. Number 8. What?
Keep going.
Taylor Green. Arm side misses are a real thing.
Yeah.
All right. The ball popping, real thing. Spraying it a little bit. It's a real thing.
Can't all be symmetrical.
We need it to be. I need symmetrical. Oh my gosh. Speaking of quarterbacks, have you ever seen that video of Drew Brees talking about quarterback mechanics?
I think so.
He was asked, to as simply as you can put it, explain how you would teach a kid how to throw a football. And he was like, well, first and foremost, we want to get it up and out as fast as possible. Don't care how it looks. But on the front side, Tom House used to talk about biting a hamburger. Every time you throw, every time you throw, and oh man, got me juiced. I've seen the video like 17 times. I watched it again at 18th today. Every word, just soaking it up. Drew Brees talking ball. We love ball around here, amen?
That's
Amen.
right.
That's right. Everybody in the chat loves ball as well. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button because you love the show. Good on the news. Let's get on to the actual content tonight. It's time to rate the predictions.
Before we
It
do
is
that,
a Thursday. What's up?
why don't we go ahead and give a quick shout out to our friends over at Sleeper. You know the drill. Sleeper is one of the fastest growing sites in the world, the best original fantasy platform, brings people together through gaming and sports, has over 6 million active users. That number will only go up each day. It's probably outdated at this point. They are active in 25 operational states, including the great state of Georgia. Head over there today to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. That means if you put $100 in, you get $100 free dollars. Why would you not do that? Use promo code Brooks today. Thank you to our friends over at
Boys, we got free money right here. I'm looking at it. Ty Simpson, 1.5 touchdown passes. Give it to me. Arch Manning, 220.5 passing yards.
I don't know if that's as much.
I don't know if it's free money.
I don't know if that's free money. I'm going to play it anyways. Let's get in on the action over there at Sleeper. Promo code Brooks, 100% deposit match. Make sure you're heading over there today and supporting those who support us. Seriously, again, promo code Brooks. Head over to Sleeper today. Why not get that 100% deposit match, man? That's what's up over there. Shout out to those guys. All right, let's get into our prediction time, or rate our prediction time. Iowa at USC. Boys, interesting development in this football game. Our friend of the show, Josh Pate, tweeted out weather forecast out there at the Coliseum. 65 degrees, expected 2 inches of rain. It rains about 5 days a year out there in Southern California. Them Hawkeyes come to town, and it's going to rain some cats and dogs. Amen.
Yeah, it's only fitting that one of the few times of the year that it would rain in L.A., it would be when the Iowa Hawkeyes are coming into town.
Got to be. I had a football coach, shout out to Kenny Dallas. Every time, I think I said this already. Every time we play a spread football team, he would pray for sideways rain. Like, we need some sideways rain.
A little bit of stinging rain.
Yeah, a little bit.
Big old fat rain.
I need rain that's coming up from the ground, Jonathan. That's what I need.
This is certainly something that favors Iowa. I don't know if it's enough to shake my prediction that
Yeah.
USC's offense is too explosive. And the problem is they're explosive on the ground as well. It's not just the fun and gun type of thing. They are a very solid running team, and I don't see Iowa winning this game.
Can I raise some suspicions on Lincoln Riley?
Sure.
I know they were a considerably worse football team last year, up and down at quarterback. Hell, they had a quarterback change in the middle of the season. But they did randomly lose to Washington last year after kind of getting it right. I don't know if y'all remember, but they had like a 3-game losing streak and then won 3 games in the middle of October and then pooped it against Washington.
Lincoln Riley's always been good for one of these. You just lost to Kansas State? What's going on? Top 10 Oklahoma? Like, this happens all the time. I think that the issue is just trying to predict it becomes hard. So it's very possible that this is the one for Iowa to come in and muck things up and make it yucky and you lose that game. But I'm just going to stick with my guns here.
I had a 31-17 on, what was that, Wednesday, yesterday? I had a 31-17 yesterday. I think I'm bumping that down maybe to like 24-14.
Yeah,
like
probably
really sweat this thing.
Probably a closer matchup. Now, I will say, like as Kirby mentioned, is also like if you remember correctly about the Iowa-Oregon game, Oregon still rushed for over 200 yards against Iowa. So they're not prone to just stuffing a run offense. And USC has been very balanced on offense. They've had the ability to rely on the run game in certain moments. There's been multiple appearances where they've rushed for 40-plus attempts. It could be one of those games. I think that for once, USC might feel comfortable doing that this weekend.
Anybody know, is there a USC fan in the chat? Anybody know the mitts on Maeva? Anybody know how big the mitts are?
No.
Can't say that I do.
That's the important thing when that ball gets slick. Got to have big mitts, you know? Don't grip it too hard in the rain. That's the one thing I will tell
Makes
young
it more
quarterbacks.
slippery.
It does, and you would think it wouldn't. You almost got to be like less firm on your grip in the rain. It'll slip out of your hands.
Yeah, I mean, I picked USC to win this game. I put the prediction, but I'd still I feel pretty solid about this one. I put it like a 3.4 to be honest.
Yeah,
I went 2.69.
I went 3.5. Nice.
Of course.
I went 3.5.
Notre Dame at Pittsburgh. What's that all about? What is that?
I think this is one of these classic games. This is just my opinion, and I have some more of my final thoughts. I think this is one of those classic games of, man, we got an opportunity for potentially a big matchup for an ACC team. Notre Dame trying to fight for a playoff spot. We're going to hype this game up. College game day is going to roll into town. And then 15 minutes into the game, it's like, well, that was enough of that one. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. I feel very confident that Notre Dame is going to win this game.
This could even be a first drive of the game where it's like, oh, this might be the one. No, I agree with you, Jay. Well, this is the most confident I am going to pick. I picked Notre Dame to roll in this game. I have it as a 4.
Even if I was like absolutely dialed into Pittsburgh football, like if I was out here watching every Thursday game, like just dialed in, I still don't think I would know who they are. I still don't think I would know whether or not they're a good football team.
Their quality of competition would
It's
certainly
been poop.
suggest that.
It's been poop. But I know this Notre Dame team is really good. I know this Notre Dame team's recruited at a top 12 level for 3 straight years. I know this Notre Dame team's got a blue chipper at the quarterback position. I know this Notre Dame team's got a run game that's hard to stop. I know this Notre Dame team has better weapons than anybody probably knows that's not an Irish fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think of Notre Dame football over the last 10 years, you don't think of weaponry and quarterback play. You've got to find out when you play these guys. When you go to study this football team as an opposing fan base preparing for Notre Dame, you're like, damn, where did this come from? This is a totally different football team. And we got to stop the running game that's averaging, 185 yards a game? Notre Dame rolls 5 out of 5. Guaranteed. Lock of the week.
I put it at like a 4.8.
I got it at 4. It's my most confident pick.
A&M at South Carolina. Guys, is A&M the best no-name offensive line in college football?
I feel like most offensive lines are no name unless you are really getting into
Honestly,
the weeds.
Kirby, I went and looked at it today. You know how I judge this? Like whether or not people think you are good. General NFL people who have to do NFL draft stuff that I know for a fact are not watching college football. For example, Mel Kiper.
Damn.
Mel Kiper doesn't have a single A&M offensive lineman ranked inside, I think, the top 25 offensive linemen. He's got one, the Kuhn kid he has rated as a guard who's playing tackle for them, I think. I always say this because, like, I think A&M is really, really solid up front.
Yeah.
And they have a big matchup this week with Dylan Stewart, obviously. And it's really since the Auburn game, the first, and Missouri, I felt like they handled Missouri to an extent. I think they only allowed 1 sack in that football game against Zion Young and Damon Wilson. This offensive line is way better than people give them credit for. And that's why I feel confident about them continuing to roll. Give me 4.99 out of 5.
Yeah, I've got this one at a 4. I think that it's going to be a really big uphill battle for South Carolina to win this game. The reason it's not higher for me is because Lenore Sellers can absolutely prove to you that he's a superhuman, and there's a likelihood that happens in this game. But other than that, I think A&M's in a pretty good position.
The only reason why you may feel a little funky about this one, if you're an A&M fan or someone kind of scouting this one and taking a peek at it, is there are a couple starters that are out, that are either questionable or out for A&M. Most notably, Mario Craver is questionable at the moment, and then also Le'Veon Moss is out for the matchup. However, I don't think that's enough loss of firepower for this A&M offense for them to feel like, oh, this might get a little hairy for us. I'm very confident that A&M wins this game. It more so probably has to do with what South Carolina lacks in more so than it does what A&M is able to do. But this one being at home, this one being late in the season, I just feel like, considering where South Carolina is at the moment, I feel pretty confident that A&M is going to roll here.
All right. On to our next football game. We predicted this Oklahoma and Alabama matchup. A big one. I think it's a 3:30 kick out there at Bryant-Denny Stadium between these two top 12 football teams. I'll be honest, I don't love anybody's matchup against Oklahoma this year. I don't love anybody's matchup against that defense. I honestly think the best, if I said this today, the best offensive performance to date is Ole Miss at Norman. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Like in all of college football?
Like all of college football, the best offensive performance in a single game to date is that one. Ole Miss going out there, taking 85 snaps, allowing 1 sack, not having a turnover, and putting up damn near 40.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against that one, I would say.
That or Georgia's against Ole Miss. I mean, you have a perfect day. It's hard to.
Yeah, considering the defensive opponent,
that Ole Miss defense is Swiss cheese.
Very true.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Very true.
This Oklahoma defense is top 2. We all think that.
But not putting your punter on the field, it's hard to get any better than that, no matter who you face.
Correct. That to me is very, very unlikely to be repeated against this Oklahoma defense. So for that reason, I don't feel great about picking Alabama because the defense from Oklahoma is that good, and I think John Mateer is that individually special from a college football standpoint. The guy can still beat you with all different types of ways. That being said, I still like Alabama. Give me 2.89 out of 5. I mean, Bama Brooks tweeted about it on Monday. I like Oklahoma's matchup in this football game.
I'm going to go a little lower than that. I'd probably put it at like a 2.2, favoring Alabama in this one. I have seen some things where people think that this is a great matchup for Alabama, and as you mentioned, I don't see it that way.
Who?
Just considering
Who did that?
I can't remember the person's name.
Oh, I thought you were going to dime him out. That's unlike you, Jonathan, to dime somebody out.
If I had the name, I would have no issue telling you who it was, but I can't exactly remember
name
who
not
it
even
was.
memorable enough to be
I don't want to say that either.
That's crazy.
It was just earlier in the week, and I was like, don't really agree with that one. But considering the strength of this Alabama offense, or of Alabama is the offense, the strength of Oklahoma is the defense. Those two going head-to-head, I don't know if that really favors Alabama necessarily, but what does favor Alabama, and I said this earlier in the week, is that I think that their defense certainly matches up better against Oklahoma's offense, and their offense matches up against Oklahoma's defense. I think that's where this game is going to be won for the Crimson Tide, but if there's some havoc plays created by the Sooners' defense and they're able to give their offense some favorable positioning, it might get a little interesting.
Yeah, this is about as close to a coin flip as you can get in this slate. I think that neither team really has a huge advantage stylistically in this matchup. Obviously, this game being at Bryant-Denny favors Alabama, but I think that at the end of the day, you're going to have to rely on John Mateer to make plays against this Alabama defense to get the Oklahoma offense down the field. They're going to do that, but I feel like John Mateer has also shown that he is not afraid to put the ball in the turnoverable position. I think that's what's going to be the difference in this game. That's why I have Alabama, but I have it at a 1.5.
All right, boys, it's time to make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the network, on our way to 100K, but it's time for Taking a Peek. All right, we do this every single week on a Thursday. These are football games or scenarios or things that you're paying attention to this weekend that could ultimately play out impactful in the end of this college football playoff run or as we near this college football playoff final selection. First thing I'm taking a peek at, of course, is the American Conference, boys. I don't know if y'all know this, but South Florida is on the road this weekend to play Navy. Navy is currently on top of the American. They have the front row seat, if you will, to win this football game or conference. However, South Florida, the road football team, a 9.5-point favorite in that football game. So it looks like South Florida might handle business.
I certainly had this one as well.
I got another one. It doesn't just stop with the Bulls. The American, I'm telling you, it's a deep conference. It's far deeper than even people realize. Y'all don't even know this, but my East Carolina Pirates got a chance to win this damn conference. Don't know if you know this, but the East Carolina Panthers Pirates currently have one conference loss despite being a 3-loss football team. But you'll say, Brooksy, who are those other 2 losses to? One to NC State, sweater. I'm talking about a fourth quarter fist fight. And then one to them old holy BYU Cougars, ladies and gentlemen. The ranked Cougars only beat the Pirates thanks to a pick 6 right before the half. I mean, they steamrolled them after that, but it was a tight first half, Jonathan. This American Conference is deep as can be, and it's a big one this weekend. Pay attention. Taking hella peaks.
Yeah, USF at Navy was certainly one of the ones I had on there. Playoff implications out there for Navy and USF as well, so big-time matchup there. One that I also have is Arkansas at LSU. Neither of these teams at this point in the year are probably worth the time of day to sit down and watch for 4 quarters, but certainly worth keeping an eye on that one, just kind of feeling around the climate of that LSU team, seeing how they're checking up. Because like I mentioned earlier in the week, I think I said this on Monday, of this Arkansas team, despite the results, despite the fact that Sam Pittman is not the head coach anymore, they have been fighting tooth and nail with every single conference matchup for the remainder of the year. LSU last week saw it from the defense. Offense just couldn't get anything going. We'll see how that bodes well for them this week.
Maybe Bobby P's got some sweet incentives for his players to get them to play hard.
Ooh,
Bobby P's sweet treats.
that could be problematic. But no, I also have that game. I'm just curious to see what LSU looks like more than anything. You got your heart ripped out against Texas A&M and then stomped on in a dramatic fashion of a bad beatdown. You were just suffocated against Alabama. I mean, that was the most disheartening 11-point loss I've ever seen. Coming out this week now against an Arkansas team that has an offense that can cause problems, going to be very interesting.
We'll be taking a peek at Cincy this weekend. They got an Arizona football team this week. Okay, only got 1 conference loss currently, 2 losses on the season, 1 in Nebraska. They got their doors blown off by Utah. We watched that one on the way home. Your Bearcats getting just absolutely trounced by the Utes. And that's
that was
unfortunate.
over rather quickly.
You know, that's unfortunate. I mean, it's unfortunate for you for your takes, but it's also unfortunate for that car ride coming back home from Gainesville because it was a poo fest. But what I'm looking at is the idea that, I mean, the second spot in the Big 12 still very much so open.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If Cincy wins out, they still have a chance to play BYU. I think everybody's kind of penciling BYU and Texas Tech in for like a rematch. I'm not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. I mean, this Cincy team still got a chance. I just don't know if that Utah football game from last week is more them or the rest of their, resume is more them. We're going to find out this weekend. What else you taking a peek at?
I'm glad you brought that up, of everybody just assuming that BYU and Texas Tech are going to get a rematch, because I think there's potential for BYU to get handed another conference loss this weekend against TCU. TCU, Josh Hoover, that offense.
My Horned Frogs, Jonathan.
Very up and down throughout the season.
Not the TCU symbol.
What do they do? It's something with it.
That's just halfway horns up.
Whatever.
TCU does this.
My Horned Frogs,
No,
Jonathan.
It doesn't deserve to be on camera now.
My playoff Horned Frogs.
Anyways, though, I've watched TCU a handful of times this year, especially when they're on the late night slot. Very up and down offense. Hard to find some consistency there. Sometimes Josh Hoover getting a little too creative, putting that ball at risk, and it costs him some games. However, when you have a quarterback like that, it can also get you into some trouble. We'll see how BYU responds this weekend against TCU, but it might be putting them behind the 8 ball in regards to playing for a conference title.
I'm taking a peek at this Wisconsin versus Indiana game. Last week, we saw Wisconsin have this renaissance of, we are running the football now, and they won the game because of it. My question for this is, how much can Wisconsin Iowa this game up to where it's just, we're sitting on the ball, we're going to play defense, we're going to try to limit your possessions, and maybe we get out of here with a win? I don't think they can do it, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can even.
Did you see that weather in that Wisconsin-Washington game?
Bad.
Oh, yeah. If this is clean track for Indiana, it might get ugly. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, it very much has potential.
Probably will get ugly. But if there's another, snowstorm going through the Hoosier town, maybe there's a chance. Are we forgetting about Michigan a little bit too soon? I know they're ranked 18th. I know they are. I know they have a path, and everybody respects it. But I think everyone looks at them as just kind of like a non-real contender. All right, but they got a couple of weeks here to kind of build momentum before they go play Ohio State.
I think they're kind of an afterthought right now because the attention has turned to the USC-Oregon game. That one feels like a determining factor in which one of these Big Ten teams is going to get another bid in the playoff. If that one goes, once that one's finished and Michigan remains in the position that they are right now, then it immediately gets flipped to Ohio State versus Michigan. Could Michigan potentially earn their right to a playoff spot in that matchup? So I think they're just below the list. There's a more important game that's closer on the horizon than it is Michigan's turn to potentially earn their right.
Got Northwestern in a soccer stadium this weekend, Jonathan. Look out. Windy City. Right there on the river. I forget the name of that stadium.
I can't remember it either.
I kept giving it shouts last year. I got to go look it up. It's Windsor and Halsey Stadium, something like that. It is literally on the river there in Chicago.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. Have you seen we've already talked about this, but it's always a good refresher for the audience. If you haven't seen the specs and the videos of their new stadium that they're building there in North Chicago, is crazy. What else are you taking a peek at? I got one more.
I'm taking a peek at this Miami-NC State game because they got Georgia Tech. They might be in due for another one. If there's any team in the ACC that I would say is good at losing games they shouldn't. It's a team coached by Mario Cristobal. So just something to pay attention to, something to watch out for. We think Miami's playoff hopes are dead, but a loss to NC State would most definitely kill it.
I've closed the blinds. I'm not taking a peek anymore.
So we would all agree that the college football committee through 2 rankings has let us know they think the ACC is some poop, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Georgia Tech's got to go beat the absolute doggy doo-doo out of Boston College. Like, thump them. Not like, I think they're a 14.5-point favorite this weekend, 16.5-point favorite, something like that. That's a 1-9 bad Boston College football team. Unfortunately, you can't even go in there and do what Notre Dame did. I think they beat them like 29-12 or something sloppy like that.
It was a gross
Missed
win.
7 PATs and a bunch of field goals. Like, you can't even be afforded that because they do not like you. They do not respect you. You need to go win with elite-style points
I
out there.
wanted to give that take, but then I was like, but if they beat Georgia, it doesn't matter.
Well,
We could argue that nothing really matters because they have a chance to go win their conference.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, we could say that. But I think every single week, teams like Georgia Tech, who are currently ranked 17th, need to buy themselves as much insurance as they possibly humanly can.
I agree with that, but also at the same point, like, if you don't
Because
win,
what if they lose their conference championship, Jonathan?
oh, they're cooked.
You know what I mean?
I mean, look. The only way the ACC is getting 2 teams in, or the only way the ACC is getting a team in, is by the conference championship rule. Like, I do not think
Not a 2-team bid?
This is not a 2-team conference,
no.
unless Georgia Tech wins out, defeats Georgia, and then loses in the ACC. Other than that, this is not a 2-bid conference.
The man mentioned unless. Shall we get to unless it doesn't happen here on
We
Fine
should transition.
Thursday?
Before we do that, though,
What's
I
up?
think we should go ahead and give a quick shout out to our friends over at SeatGeek. If you're wondering what SeatGeek is by now, or if you're making plans to see any one of these exciting college football games this Saturday, or for the remaining of the regular season this year, SeatGeek is your place to go. They have more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek. That's including concerts, sports, and festivals, and all sorts of other things. It's not just football. I personally use the SeatGeek app. They have your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. Green is good, red is bad. Look for those green dots. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. We've got a code for you to use as well, not just publishing out here. Use FilmGuy10 to get 10% off your next ticket purchase. That's FilmGuy10. Thank you to SeatGeek.
For some reason, of all of our promo codes, that's the one I get asked for the most because it's getting forgotten. It's FilmGuy10. Again, promo code FilmGuy10 over there with our friends at SeatGeek. Let's get on into it, unless it doesn't happen. Boys, I don't know if y'all noticed. Y'all probably haven't because he's down there at UCF. But Scott Frost was running his mouth a little bit this week. Did y'all see this?
I heard about it. I didn't.
So they're playing Texas Tech.
Right.
And he did the thing that everybody's doing when they play Texas Tech. He did the thing that everybody's doing when they play Oregon. He did the thing that you're not supposed to do, which is, woe is me, we're about to play a team that's better than us because they got more money. And he went as far as to say, essentially, the game of college football is broken. The sport that he loves is dead. That the purity of it, I think, was the word that he used. The purity of the sport, we're losing it by the day and by the hour, and teams can just go out and buy wins, and they can go out and buy competitiveness, and it's a shame. In the same running of it's a shame, all this stuff, he somehow slipped in there to his boosters that they need to pick up their bag. They're a bunch of broke asses. Like, in the midst of all of that, he did the whole thing. He did the shame on this guy, Joey McGuire, for buying success. He's a slappy. Also, by the way, y'all want to give me some of that bread. I hope Joey McGuire and the Red Raiders absolutely rub your nose at it. You heard it here first. Texas Tech runs it up on the Knights.
You know, a guy like Scott Frost would really benefit if he went to a school that did have this funding, like a Nebraska maybe.
Yeah, maybe a place that's got one of the biggest financial markets in the world right there in Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know, something like that.
We've talked a little bit about the Florida versus Ole Miss game this weekend.
Sorry to cut you off. I got to add, in Scott Frost's defense, he and his wife did not like walking around town in Lincoln. They couldn't go to dinner. So, not all that much of an ideal job.
Understandable.
Fair. We've talked a little bit about Florida versus Ole Miss this weekend. Potential for Florida to prove their worth, as well as for Ole Miss to prove their worth to one Lane Kiffin. Well, I'm predicting that Ole Miss is just going to beat the brains out of Florida this weekend. And then he's going to tell them, I'm staying. I'm staying in Oxford. I don't care about those other jobs. This is the place I want to be. only for him to take the LSU job. You heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
Rope-a-dope. Hey, apparently something happened on the message boards out there in Rebel Country this weekend or this week. I don't know what's going on. I think they're in pure panic mode right about now because all these coaches are either signing an extension or nearing an extension, everybody but Lane, and that's got those folks out there in Rebel Land a little bit nervous.
I mean, yeah, right.
A little bit nervous.
We've got college football going on tonight.
Foosball.
But we're not even going to have to wait till Saturday to see ranked teams play. We've got 2 ranked matchups
Friday
tomorrow.
night.
Oregon plays tomorrow, so does Louisville. Friday's been a weird night to play games, especially if you're a ranked team, especially in the ACC. You know what? I'm going to call it again. Both ranked teams playing tomorrow night will lose. That is Oregon and Louisville. You heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
Not 1, but 2, so says the Kerber man. I don't know what that is. Yeah. I don't know what that was. That was me watching I Love You Man 3 days ago, Jobin. That's what that was. My apologies. I got another one for you. C.J. Bailey throws for 400. The Hurricanes go down. NC State rolls. Wolfpack up. Ow! You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Another home game for Miami.
Ow!
Good God.
And of all the stadiums to get as many home games as they've gotten, that's one of the last on the list that deserve that many home games in a season. You mentioned it, Kirby. You already predicted for Louisville to lose this weekend against Clemson. Well, I like to go a little further on this matchup. I do predict that Clemson is going to beat Louisville tomorrow night, but I think it's going to be followed up by Dabo Swinney giving a comment of, man, guys, we were 11 points away from locking down a playoff spot. I want everybody to know that.
What?
I want everybody to know that. We had a 7-point loss to LSU. We had a 3-point loss to Georgia Tech. And then we had a 1-point loss to the Duke Blue Devils. That's 3 losses taken off of our 4-5 record. That would put us in a position to lock down a playoff spot. So for as much as everybody wants to say that this season was a failure, we're 11 points close to a playoff.
Tyler from Spartanburg can lick it.
God, dude.
11 points. I could see it. I could see the tape.
yeah.
How was that, by the way? How did they – did you already run through it?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
I
was looking at chat.
hate how right you are about that because that
You
is
are so right.
1,000% something Dabo Swinney would do. All right. This one is not as much a prevalent matchup that we're going to see on Saturday, but there's a team in the SEC that has had their season ended, has – for the better part, kind of been knocked out of college football playoff contention, suffered a really tough loss recently. I think they're getting their get-back game. Give me the Tennessee Vols hanging up 70 against New Mexico.
That is such a Josh Heupel thing.
That is a Josh Heupel thing. Oh, we're playing a bad team? Time to score 900 points.
I just hope I get to see some George McIntyre sling that thing around.
There's a good chance you will.
He needs to be second string, by the way, in this football game. Obviously, Jake Merklinger needs to be the guy if Joey gets hurt. But in this football game, if you're giving anybody attempts, it needs to be George McIntyre. No offense, okay, but if we got a future in terms of elite quarterback play, it's probably in him. And we better figure out who he is before – what's my man in 2026?
Faison Brandon.
Before Faison Brandon shows up, because we got a lot of money sitting on the roster at the quarterback position.
No doubt. That's a good point.
Yep. What else you got on unless it doesn't happen? I done burnt the boats.
We have a sleeper game on the slate this week.
Word.
This game is so good that 3 different TV stations are going to be airing it. 3 of them. TNT going to be airing this game. True TV going to be airing this football game. HBO going to be streaming this football game. So I'm going to get in on the action. I want to make sure that I plant my flag, give a take on this game, since there's going to be so many eyes glued in on this one right here. On one, Arizona State versus West Virginia.
Woo!
All right? So here you go. Jordan Tyson going for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns this weekend on 3 different TV stations. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
Is Sam Levitt playing?
Heck if I know. It's not going to matter.
I don't know if he is. I don't see Jeff Sims throwing for 200 yards in his life, let alone in a football game.
Just got to get it to him. It don't matter.
You're right. Hey, they did retire his single-game jersey, so
they did.
That's pretty cool.
In the Hall of Fame out there at Arizona
State Hall of Fame.
That is pretty sick, though, honestly. Retiring.
Would you rather be in the Arizona State Hall of Fame or the Arizona State Hall of Game? And if you know about that university.
That's actually a good question.
We'll let the chat decide. Would you rather be in the Arizona State Hall of Fame for one game or the Arizona State Hall of Game? If you know, you know. All right, what else you got?
That's it for me.
All right, we done dumped the clip. You dumped the clip?
I got one more.
Come on with it. Hall
Actually,
of Game
I have two
easy.
more.
I think it takes it by a mile.
I have two more on this, actually. I just realized. We've got a team sitting up at number 1 that has not had to flinch the entire season other
By
than
the
a
way,
matchup.
3 weeks in a row, this has happened. So go ahead.
What?
Do your thing, man. Do your
3
thing.
weeks in a row, what?
I'm praying for it. I hope they get a sweater. 3 weeks in a row. Are you about to do Buckeye sweat?
Yeah, I've never done
3
this.
weeks. Yeah, you did. You did it last week.
I think I do recall you saying that.
They play UCLA last
Oh,
week?
I picked
Or this
Purdue to
week?
win last week. That's different.
That's what it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Purdue the
Boilermakers.
choo-choos. He picked the choo-choos to get him.
yeah, dude.
Hey,
All right,
it
so
didn't
yeah,
happen,
2
though.
weeks in a row, do it again.
Hey, it
I
didn't
want
happen. You're not supposed to bring it up.
You're right. You're right.
That's not how
Unless
this
it
works.
doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
That's
Yeah.
not how
You're
this
right. You're
works.
right. You're right.
Tennessee
It's on me.
fans, this
It's on
man
me.
said that you would not
Yeah, how many
score a
touchdowns
single
did Tennessee
touchdown
score?
against Georgia.
They scored lots of them. I think I said passing touchdown. To
No,
be
you said a
specific.
single touchdown.
I didn't say get it in
You
the box
said
once.
0 touchdowns.
You said a shutout.
Damn.
The Tennessee fans in the
All
chat will
field
remember.
goals. That's right.
But no, anyways, I said that Ohio State will have to strain for the first time in 2025. They'll win the game, but it'll be one where we go, oh, finally we get an Ohio State test.
Strained for the first time since week 1.
Y'all waiting on me to carry show? I'm pulling up an app right quick.
I've got one more.
Come on.
There is a common trend going on in college football this year that is based around an article of clothing, and it is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, to you.
It is. And there's a superstition behind that, and I understand the whole thing. Why this has become national media coverage, why this has become something that professional analysts talk about is beyond me, and I'm sick and tired of hearing about it. Give me this black hoodie Kalen DeBoer nonsense ending on Saturday. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
But how's it end? He loses in the black jersey or he wins in something other than the black hoodie?
Either or.
How's it end?
Either or. Just stop it. Just end this now.
Rooting for the downfall of a black hoodie is crazy.
I'm just so tired of, hey, guys, guess what? He's wearing the black hoodie today. Here's his record when he wears this article of clothing.
Don't even get this guy started on some of the stuff we had pre-show talking with some jerseys
Yeah.
and some sounders.
It was just like, what? I do not understand the inconsistencies in some areas.
I might let him get a rant off in the local hour.
Nah, it's not. I don't feel that passionate about
Don't
it.
duck smoke.
I'm not ducking smoke. I just
He
don't
said
wanna-
Jonathan, he seemed pretty passionate about it pre-show, did he?
I'm not going to speak for the man. I'm going
That
to
a
stay,
boy.
I'm gonna stay
That-
out of
you know
this
what?
one.
Thank
I
you,
was
Jay.
testing your loyalty to your co-host that shares a desk with you. That's a good job standing 10 toes down with
you
your
were
boy.
most definitely not doing
Yes,
that.
I was. Yes, I was. I
if
was
Jay-
trying to see if my man would dime
If
you
Jay-
out right now on
if-
live television.
if
He
Jay-
chose not to.
If
That's a
Jay
good
Will had
man.
agreed with you, you would have been like, see? You are Mr. Spin Zone.
And this is why I decided to stay out of it.
Thank you, Jay.
Come on,
I'll
Switzerland.
just let y'all beef it out.
Y'all ready for final thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
It is time. We got week 12 of college football arriving on our doorsteps right now on a Thursday night. If you're watching this on an upload, you're checking us out on a Friday, welcome in. We are the Film Guide Network. Normally I do this. I'm standing up today. Got a little restless leg syndrome. Clemson at Louisville. Only thought on this football game, okay? And it's kind of been the thought about Clemson all year long. They're still talented. They're still really, really good in terms of Jimmys and Joes. They probably have a better roster on paper, at least, than Louisville. But they've had a better roster on paper than everybody but LSU on their schedule this year. So that being said, I do think Louisville probably finds a way to win this football game. But don't be surprised when you pull it up and it's tight.
Yeah, I mean, last year they had a better roster than Louisville, and it didn't matter in that
Nope.
one either. So
They got their
but
face ran
the
through.
spread is relatively close, not even relatively
2.5.
close. Yeah, I mean, it's dwindled at that. So that is certainly one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, those Dabo Sweet, like teams like that where they have a lot of talent but they're playing so bad are so tough to lose to because their record says that they're bad. But the on-paper talent's very good. Like Auburn is a good football team. Florida is a good football team talent-wise. Clearly they haven't been able to win games, but it is still tough to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a Louisville or a Louisville guy?
I kind of go back and forth, to
Yeah,
be
I think
honest.
I'm a Louisville guy.
It's kind of like pecan and pecan. I go back and forth. It kind of depends on when I'm saying it.
Oregon's got some business to handle still, okay? I think they have to play this Minnesota game relatively with some style points as insurance just in case. They're not guaranteed entrance at 10-2 if they lose to USC next week.
No.
If they do lose to USC next week, they need to have a big-time, massive win the week before, and next week needs to look like a fluke if they end up losing that one. But I think they ultimately go on and handle their business, but this is not the one. Minnesota already randomly showed up and beat Nebraska. You're a far, far superior football team than Nebraska. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Minnesota does this every once in a while. Watch out.
Yeah, and it's definitely important too. Like as we've seen every single year with the playoff committee, it's really important about what you do in the month of November because those are the most recent talking points about these teams. The old adage of it's better to lose early than it is to lose late, that is absolutely true because those losses late in the year are weighed out a lot more than it is if you lose in week 1 and week 2. We kind of seen that with Notre Dame at the moment. Like that's kind of just brushed off to the side at the moment. So it is very important that Oregon closes out the season strong. This is a true test for USC, in my opinion, this weekend. Like, as weird as it feels to say that in a matchup against Iowa at home for them, I think it really is. Like, if you can win the trench battle with the rain and the weather that is going to occur this weekend in Los Angeles, if you can win the trench battle against this football team, like a Big Ten staple is that Iowa, no matter what, they're going to have good offensive line and defensive line players. They're going to be able to do it both ways. If you're able to line up against those guys, and defensively, you're going to hold up against them, you're going to stop the run game for them, and offensively, you're going to be able to get the run game going in this one. I think this kind of changes the thoughts around that program.
Weird question. Do you think the Coliseum's field holds water very well?
Probably not.
Probably doesn't get rained.
I mean,
much.
That's a great
$1
question.
billion stadium, the NFL stadium they built out there wasn't even prepared for rain.
Yeah,
It has a ceiling with holes in it.
that's what I'm saying. I think it could be something to pay attention to. This Notre Dame and Pittsburgh football game, I've talked about this all week, and this is going to sound like a crack on Pitt. This is a crack on the current system we have in college football with these bloated conferences, specifically the ACC. The idea that the ACC is a 17-member school or member conference and they only play 8 conference games has created exactly what they got going on right now, where they have a ranked 7-2 Pittsburgh football team that's played one Power 4 football team with a winning record this year, and they've lost to Louisville. Okay, so this is a team in Pittsburgh that, though they are ranked 22nd right now, we have no idea what they are or whether or not they are a quality football team. We'll find out a lot more this weekend, but I think Notre Dame is a quality football team. I know they're really, really good, and I think they roll.
Yeah, I want to stay kind of in the ACC a little bit talking about this. It's really murky right now, but I think we get a lot of things cleaned up this weekend. You've got Virginia and Duke playing each other. They're both 5-1. Someone's going to walk away from that with one loss. Georgia Tech plays Boston College. There is room for an upset there, but I think we're all pretty confident saying Georgia Tech's going to win that game. SMU's on a bye. Pitt obviously plays Notre Dame like we just talked about. Louisville plays Clemson. Miami plays NC State. There's going to be we're going to come out of this, I think, with a handful of less one-loss teams and maybe even some more two-loss teams. It's still going to be murky throughout the season, but I think the picture gets a lot more clear.
I want to add in on this Notre Dame-Pittsburgh game because I teased it a little bit earlier in the show. Like I've really honed in on my final thought for this one. I think that this is just going to be a CJ Carr masterpiece. That's my feeling going into this one. Pittsburgh good against the run. They do all of those things great, but the pass defense has been giving it up a little bit this year. And you're coming in against a quarterback that has increasingly gotten better and not only that, this offense has been explosive in the pass game. Like Brooks mentioned, they got skill players out there. They have good wideouts out there. And CJ Carr playing good ball right now. I think that they're just going to throw it all over them. I think CJ Carr is going to have a big day. I think they're going to rout the Panthers.
USC has built their football program over the last 2 years to win that football game we're talking about in the rain a couple of minutes ago. All right, they've built their offense off running the football again like Lincoln Riley always has. If y'all remember, they were running the football for almost 200 yards a game during his time at Oklahoma in its heyday when they were at their greatest, right? With C.D. Lamb, with Baker Mayfield, with all those quarterbacks and all those Heisman winners, they were running the piss up out the rock. They're back to doing that out there at USC with what he has built, all right? So I think they have done that to win games like this in the Big Ten because this is a conference, unlike the Pac-12, where you got to win it at the line of scrimmage, very similar to that in the SEC. No coincidence, the bigger the budgets get, the better the offensive line and defensive lines get, okay? So this conference, built on line of scrimmage, built on controlling the clock and winning these types of football games in the margins, I think USC gets over the Big Ten hump a little bit this weekend against Iowa.
I could absolutely see it. I want to dive in on this Texas A&M South Carolina game. I think this game boils down to one word and one word only: catastrophes. This is a game of catastrophes. Who can create the most catastrophes? If Texas A&M's defense can catastrophically destroy the pocket for Lenore Sellers this weekend, is just constantly tackling him behind the line of scrimmage, making him roll out, all those types of things. If they do that on a consistent basis, Texas A&M is going to be fine. If South Carolina's defense can create catastrophes for this Texas A&M offense, which they have been able to do this year, that's one thing that Shane Beamer has been able to create with that defense over the last 2 years, is that they've been great in the turnover margin. They've been great at creating those situations, and it's been no different this year. So if they can replicate that, if they can bring that into this game on the road against Texas A&M, defense always travels. If they create enough catastrophes, they might be able to make it a little bit interesting.
Yeah, going into another, probably arguably one of the biggest matchups in the SEC this week, I want to talk about Alabama, Oklahoma.
Yep.
My final thought on this is I feel like outside of a blowout, either one of these outcomes is going to make sense. If Alabama wins this game, it's going to be, of course they won. They have Ty Simpson, John Mateer. That offense just could not do enough for Oklahoma to win that game on the road. On the adverse of it, if Oklahoma wins, I think it would also make sense where people come out and say, of course Oklahoma won. It was the best defense that Alabama had played all season. They were able to finally heat up Ty Simpson. Alabama can't run the ball, all of those things. I think it's the perfect definition of a coin flip game.
It's a great point in the sense that of all these top 12 matchups we've talked about in this conference all year long, this one feels the most obvious with regards to, that's the clear path to victory for that football team. Right? Mm-hmm. For Alabama, it's finding a way to be balanced. It's continuing the offensive success. It's protecting Ty Simpson. It's finding a way to run the football and maintaining defensive excellence, particularly with regards to defending the pass and keeping Oklahoma one-dimensional. For Oklahoma on the other side, right, it's getting after Ty Simpson. It's forcing turnovers. It's making that one-dimensional football team remain one-dimensional and then capitalizing on that one-dimensionality, one-dimensionalness. There we go.
Yeah, that works.
That'll be all right.
We understood what you were saying.
Hey, you got it. You were dialed. Florida's third stringers, pretty damn good. Go ahead.
I wanted to pile on this Oklahoma-Alabama game while we're at it. Both run games, we've talked about it a whole lot this week. Not going to come in here and say that one of these run games is just going to overpower the other. That's just not the reality for either of these teams. I think it's going to be who is more timely in the run game. Like, if John Mateer is able to pick up some third downs using his legs and he keeps the sticks moving for them, that's going to be huge. If Daniel Hill can have some timely runs for Alabama late in the game, pick up some first downs, keep them efficient in that regard, I think that's good. So, like, whoever has more timely runs, whoever can have the most impactful rushing attempts in this game, I think that could be a difference maker here.
Boys, there's an elite quarterback showdown going on late night, Saturday night. Do you know about it? Have you heard? Are the streets talking? They should be. Josh Hoover versus Bear Bachmeier.
Oh, yeah.
Those SOBs might throw it for 650 combined on Saturday night. 10-15 kick out there in Cougarland. Look out. It's going to be a good ball game.
This is my final thought, and I feel like it's one of the –
You wrapping bows?
Yeah, this is my final thought. We have probably one of the most consequential games for the postseason taking place this Saturday, and no one's going to watch it, and it's not really going to be talked about. Navy versus USF, and I feel like that is the perfect dichotomy of the system that we have right now. No one believes either one of those teams are going to make a run for the playoff, are going to be competing for national titles, yet that game will likely decide which of those two teams gets to go to the college football playoff. I think that perfectly shows how flawed this system is and where we have these, charity cases of getting group of 5 teams in just because we have to do it.
I bet there's a weird world where, statistically speaking, the winner of that game is more likely to make the playoff than the winner of Texas and Georgia.
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure.
Probably.
I mean, if
insane?
If Texas loses, they're down to like 2%.
I don't know, though. If Georgia beats Texas, that probably shoots up to like a 97% chance, wouldn't you think?
I'm just saying. There are way, way, way more meaningful blue-chip filled football games going on this Saturday, and the winner of them still got a whole hell of a lot of work left if they win a massive top 12 matchup. And this one, hey, if you beat Navy by 12 points, you're done.
Agreed.
Right. Go beat whatever's left on your, American Conference schedule. But it is a deep conference. I don't mean to make a shout at, or make a slight at the American. Hey, guess what, boys?
What's up?
We have a whole nother hour. Some
Ooh.
people say it's our best hour. Local hour coming up next. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape.
Didn't quite make it.
Did not make it.
Didn't make it quite in time for the start of the local hour. But we have a loaded local hour. Thank you for joining us, Brooks. Come on, have a seat or stand, whichever one you'd like to. We're just now getting into the local hour. Do I need to catch you up any further?
Whoa.
Oh, and we break the microphone.
Broke the microphone.
Way to go.
It's one of them nights. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a loaded local hour. We've got our final thoughts on what is set to be an elite matchup between the Texas Longhorns and the Georgia Bulldogs inside of Sanford Stadium this weekend.
We didn't hit Super Chubs in the national.
We didn't hit Super Chubs. Why don't y'all read off some Super Chubs to me while I, attempt to fix my issues here.
Hopefully we can find them. We don't have
I just spent time fixing this the other day.
Yeah, we don't have the ability to filter through like you do.
Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. This is a well-oiled machine around here. Oh, guys, there are no Super Chubs. So says,
no Super Chubs.
So says our
all right.
People slacking on a Thursday, huh? Nobody wants to talk to the boys
that thing is
on a Thursday.
I don't know if this is getting better.
I don't know if y'all need to carry show or sit there and laugh at your boss. Which one do you want to do?
Both are rather entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
Which one do you want to do?
Either one is fun.
I would prefer you pick one.
All right. Well, here we go. We'll
Let's
dive
laugh
into
at
the local hour right quick. A loaded local hour, as I mentioned before. Here's the first topic. A big question. Late in the season, you kind of feel like you know everything you need to know about these teams. But is there anything left for Georgia to unveil? Like anything left for them to prove? What do you think, Kirby?
As far as proving things goes, I think that if you want to say they're unveiling a new defense to where it starts playing more cohesive and a little bit better, getting off the field on third down more, maybe not having slow starts. But as far as unveiling anything, I don't think there's a new scheme that Glenn Schumann's been tucked in his pocket. I don't think there's anything Mike Bobo's waiting to do. I do think that there are some players that are going to, quote, be unveiled, but I think that's just by,
Happenstance.
Happenstance, attrition, other guys making plays in practice. Like we said, we saw Landon Rolden. He's already gotten some shots towards him. I think that Zayden Walker is going to provide some more, depth in the pass rush. Guys like that. But I don't think schematically anything's going to get unveiled at this point.
No, you don't change who you are. You change what you are. Or rather, you don't change what you are. You change who you are. Right? You change some of the football players that are blossoming later on in the season. I think we saw a lot of that last week, right? Last 2 weeks, really. Zayden Walker's first travel. Like when I first noticed Zayden Walker was at the Florida game in Gainesville or in Jacksonville. And then obviously he got playing time against Mississippi State. You would imagine that role continues. I feel like Chris Cole's, spot playing last year, then the Texas football game after that, he's kind of like a mainstay, it felt like, in that system defensively. I feel the same way about what Elias has got going on, what, some of these other young freshmen might have earned their right to do.
Yeah, and as weird as it is to say, I think you're going to have a massive opportunity to really get a better look at it next week, too, because you have your final conference game of the year against Texas this weekend, and then you have Charlotte at home next week at 12:45. That likely will end up being an opportunity for some of these guys that are on the cusp of maybe really entering their name into the starting rotation or being more involved on offense or defense. You're probably going to get an extensive look at those players next weekend.
Loaded local hour. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We got positional breakdowns. I've got a hot take for you. You want it right now?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
So Greg Olson's been going viral lately for all this discussion about what defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators are doing in the league nowadays, where they're manipulating personnel, where they might be in, two tight ends, but really playing two tight ends like 11 personnel, meaning they have two tight ends on the field, but they're two great athletes and they can spread out and get into 3-by-1. And it really puts this problem on the feet of the defense coordinator. Are we going to play it like 12, meaning are we going to put three linebackers in the field? Or are we going to play it in base nickel like we've been doing the last 10 years of pro football and college football, because teams are spreading out a lot more, they're throwing the football a lot more, they're causing more and more problems. And I got to thinking, well, we were having this discussion on this network 4 years ago. We were having this discussion on this network 3 or 4 years ago because Georgia's offenses were doing this to teams because of their personnel, right? They had Brock Bowers and they had Darnell Washington. And you had two players, one of which was as dynamic or even more dynamic than any wide receiver anybody had on their football team, right? I think Nick Saban talked about who are the weapons that created the most problems for you defensively if we can't guard these guys. He said Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers, right? Brock Bowers was a tight end, but he was causing these personnel problems. I think that's kind of a lucky thing that you kind of fell into, a once-in-a-generation thing you fell into because of who Brock Bowers is, but maybe you can get back to this with a guy like Elias. Maybe Elias can cause these types of, I mean, damn, that's basically an X out there. What do we do with this type of football player? How do we play? Oh, by the way, he walks our safety 7 yards into the end zone in red line, goal line situations. We can't keep counting this as base personnel.
Yeah, I think that I, for one, the Falcons do this quite a bit. They use Charlie Warner, and then they also use Kyle Pitts at the moment, two very different types of tight ends. Now, do they use it as efficiently as Georgia did at the time, or how some of these other teams are running 12 personnel? No, not at all, unfortunately. But it does seem like that this has become not a new phenomenon, but it does feel like it's become a lot more common across football, especially since like Darnell Washington and Brock Bowers. Like those were the two like quintessential, like two very different tight ends. You can play them at the same time. They can do different things. It really puts the defense in a bind.
There's the inverse way of doing this, which is playing small with personnel, but having small personnel that's willing to play big. Right, the Rams are doing a great job of this and have for the last 5 years of pro football, where guys like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua might be Z receivers, but they can go in there and block inside linebackers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that really, really causes a lot of problems.
I think the question I have for this is we've seen the body type of tight ends evolve drastically in the last 10 years of college football. Like it feels like if you are not able to at least run routes and do the multitude of things, we have seen more and more hybrid type of tight ends.
Oh, God. I just had a football revelation. We're idiots. Georgia didn't start this. You know who did this first?
Patriots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago. I'm sorry, you know this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, explain to what they did.
But, I mean, obviously you had one guy that was predominantly just your traditional big body tight end, and then another guy was kind of your speed, really put you in conflict with 12 personnel. My question is that do we feel like the defensive body type has evolved in pace with what the offenses have done? Because like we've said, bless you. We've seen tight ends feel like they've gotten faster, better at route running, and then somehow they've still gotten bigger and stronger. Whereas I don't know if necessarily you can say it with defenses. They've gotten faster for sure, but.
So what defenses have done, in my opinion, they've eliminated outside linebackers, quote unquote. Now, Texas Tech is breaking this trend. They're playing 4-3 in traditional 4-3 and staying in it no matter what other teams are in. But you don't see a lot of football teams in college football extending 6'2", 235-pound linebackers out into space and letting them play out there. Normally, people are playing 4 downs, 2 linebackers, and 5 DBs. So we've seen defenses morph with just the types of body types that they have on the field. What I think you're asking is, who's this hybrid chess football player defensively to handle these tight ends, handle these different body types where, hey, you're big enough to handle a tight end, but you're fast enough to cover a slot receiver? The answer is I don't know if we have one.
Yeah.
The closest to me in college football recently that was even asked to do that was Barrett Carter. And I don't know if it was to the betterment of him.
They tried doing this with Harold Perkins at LSU.
They are.
I think they've moved him since back to an off-ball linebacker position and then rushing off the edge. But other than that,
he's playing float roamer.
I mean, they had him at star for a while.
I mean, that's float roamer. When you're a star and you're a linebacker, you're just floating around the box. You just get to be a free hat. You just get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I think there is a future for that and a continued growth in that department. And we saw Georgia have to do that last year with Jalen Walker. When you have these unique football players, and they seem to be more and more, or at least we're having more and more of those. I feel like the Yonze Pierre kid at Alabama is this way. I feel like Quay Rousseau at Alabama is this way. Hell, I feel like to an extent Colin Simmons is this. We have these body types. We got to find ways to make them impactful as football players on the defensive side of the ball. And they are. I think most defensive coordinators in football right now are doing a great job of it. Georgia doesn't have one of those body types. That's the thing. And that's why I think they're going to overextend themselves to an extent for a player like LaDainian Guyton in this 27, 26 class, wherever he ends up. All right. Speaking of defensive ends, I just want to say this, okay? Jonathan's got a great thing right there. I don't know if y'all care whether or not I think you know ball. All right, but if you do, just know this. If you are a listener here, I care about you. I love you. All right? I want to look out for you. And I want you to think that I think highly of you because you listen to this show. If you listen to this show and I catch you on social media trying to win a football argument with a screenshot of an ESPN box score, buddy, if I were your friend, I'd shake you. I would shake you senseless like Adam Sandler did that fat, chubby kid. Stay here. Stay here for as long as you can. I would grab you and shake you senseless because you're an idiot. Stop doing it. Also, stop counting stats for defensive ends that play at Georgia. Stop doing it. I watch people criticize first-round draft picks for this, and look how stupid they look as Trayvon Walker has 10 sacks 2 years in a row in the NFL. Stop doing this. Gabe Harris plays in a 4-point stance 85% of his snaps. Gabe Harris has to run through a guard and a tackle to get home. Shut up. Sorry.
It's just funny because it happens every year. And the previous years, like when you're talking about Trayvon Walker, people did it to Nolan Smith as well. I mean, when he was coming out of college, people were doing it to him as well. It was more of the outsiders that were like, oh, these people drafting all these Georgia guys, they don't even get sacks, no sack production. Look at the box score. Like they even did to Jalen Walker this past offseason during the NFL draft. And now it's kind of turned into Georgia fans are doing it to themselves. Some Georgia fans. I don't want to just collectively blanket everybody into this category because it's not everybody. But they did it with Chaz Chambliss, and now they're doing it with Gabe Harris. And I don't understand. Like, I mean, you guys watch Georgia every single weekend, which I know everybody watches it differently. You don't digest the content the same, all that stuff. But eventually you think you would learn, like, kind of what it is to be expected of a Georgia defensive end.
Unfortunately, the common conception when you hear defensive end in the common fan is, oh, the position Jadeveon Clowney played. Oh, what Chase Young did at Ohio State. Oh, guys like that where their job is to rush the passer on third down and get sacks. And if they don't get sacks, they're not good. That's unfortunate as well. And Georgia fans also did this for interior defensive linemen. I saw a screenshot midway through the season of what Justice Terry had put up, and it was like, oh, I'm sure he's really regretting his decision to go to Texas. No, it was the same thing with interior defensive linemen. They are not going to record stats. That is not their job.
The difference is Justice isn't playing. And that's what's crazy about defensive linemen, right? They're quote-unquote stats. Like, I was told that the football world thinks that kid from Mississippi State, number 92, they think he's one of the best defensive tackles in the conference right now. I think if you look him up, he's got like 18 tackles. Like, box score scouting, football players like that is so insane. So insane. I went on a whole rant this week. I feel like people, now that advanced analytics are more readily available and, you know, things that if you don't have proper context, if you're not actually watching, if you just get a data point put in front of you, that data point could be extremely misleading. It could lead you 100% astray with regards to what's actually happening in football. Don't even get me started on PFF grades. We've already done that rant here on this network.
That one today was
times.
wild.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The idea, they tweeted that.
I know.
I missed that
they
one.
tweeted that. Bro, PFF tweeted out today that Caden Proctor is the highest rated offensive tackle in the conference.
Oh.
Yeah. So I just quote
Well,
you
how
as
many-
like, I know you lying.
How many offensive tackles do you know have rushing touchdowns? That's got to go into the account.
That probably does. It probably does.
They're out
I
here playing fantasy.
I also love the idea that you think there is a company that doesn't have 30,000 employees that's actually out here grading all of those things. Like, do you know how big the machine would have to be to grade all these players?
Yeah.
It has to be a robot.
Oh, for sure.
It has to be a robot. I ain't never met one. You ever met a PFF grader?
No.
Nope.
I've tweeted anti-PFF things for a decade now. Ain't never not one of them showed up in the mentions defending themselves. So they must not exist. We must be just looking at numbers and putting them on social media in defense or in, defamy of players all the time. That's the one that frustrates me, is when people put up bad grades like, this guy sucks, look at this. It doesn't even bother me as much as the good ones. I love good propaganda for young men. That's awesome for Caden Proctor that he got this today. Just don't be lying to me, I've watched the ball this year. I know what it is. I thought Steve Sarkisian's comments on the schedule today were really, really weird. What happened?
We didn't do the wheel topics, so we're gonna get.
Oh, no,
we'll
it's
do
all
a
good.
fake spinach.
That's fine. Did you see Steve Sarkisian's comments about his schedule today?
Yeah, I did.
Hey, Steve, just to let you know, everybody else around here in the SEC world thinks you got an easy schedule. So I know you scheduled Ohio State, and that's awesome, and I want to encourage other people to do that, because Lord knows we had a great time previewing that football game and talking about that football game and watching that football game, and Lord knows we enjoyed week 1 opening up like that. But come on, dog.
I think we should read it.
Huh?
I think we should read it.
Read it.
This is a question. This is Georgia's last SEC game. You have 2 more conference rival games after this. Having gone through this twice now, are you comfortable with the structure of your schedule, or would you want to bye or a conference bye later in the year? Which, by the way, Texas is literally coming off a bye week right now going into Georgia. So they got the bye later in the season. Here's what Steve Sarkisian said. I am not comfortable. I don't think there's enough continuity from a scheduling standpoint in the SEC. I understand with us being new to the conference and how schedules get set earlier, years in advance, I think there's some distinct advantages that some people have where they spread out their non-conference games throughout the season. They play non-conference games in the second to last game of the season, and we're playing all of ours on the front end. They're playing conference games earlier in the year when their team is 100% healthy. I don't love our schedule, but it's our schedule. So I do love it in the same breath because it is what it is. You play the schedule, you play the hand you're dealt.
2 things, Jonathan. 1, as you mentioned, coming right off a bye right now. 2, they have 0 people on their injury report.
Yeah, you're healthy right now.
Healthy as hell.
And
I don't know what we're doing. Actually, I do know what we're doing. We're lobbying. We're lobbying right now, because if we end up 9-3, we're going to need all the lobbying we possibly need to get into a college football playoff.
And
we're getting early on the lobby right now.
And might I add that Georgia's first conference game of the season was in Week 3 against Tennessee on the road. They were down 2 offensive linemen. Juan Gaston was banged up. Ernest Green was banged up going into that game. They had to rely on backups for that one. So it's not like the assumption that all of these teams are just 100% healthy early in the year because it's early in the season. I don't understand this notion that, we're the only team that's banged up right now. We're the only team that's hurting right now. All of those teams were 100% healthy when they played their matchups.
Now, I do understand his argument from a standpoint of you had 4 weeks of Ohio State, tomato can, and then it's, all right, time to begin your 8-week SEC trudge. I get that, and I understand saying, hey, maybe we get one of those tomato cans in between every now and then, but the 8 SEC teams is the 8 SEC teams, bro. That's the interesting part that I think that I can see where his argument is. I think he presented it in a poor way. I don't think this is Steve Sarkisian complaining that the SEC schedule is too hard. I think he's simply saying, hey, next time when we're going to have 8 games, let's get them spread out. Let's get a Charlotte in between our Texas A&M battle or stuff like that. So I understand it, but not the time to be given that message.
Buddy, I would argue it worked into their favor that they had 3 tomato cans after that opening week.
Definitely.
They got to solely focus on Ohio State and then got to lick their wounds for 3 weeks.
And they needed it. They needed Arch to really settle in those 3 games and figure out offensively what they were going to do this year. Because, had you started your conference schedule when other teams did, who's to say there's not another loss on that schedule at the moment?
Yeah, no, there's definitely arguments on both sides of it. I understand why, from a coach's standpoint of going, man, we're week 6 into this 8-game stretch of SEC opponents. This sucks. I never had to deal with this back at Texas when I was at the Big 12. I get it. I also don't think you need to be complaining about it right now.
I want to play Wheel of Topics.
Okay.
I want to play Wheel of Topics from the desk.
Pick a number between 1 and 5.
You ever played those little things?
Oh, the fortune cookies? Yeah. Fortune tellers?
4.
Number 4. Which defense in this game will have more sacks?
On paper, you would say Colin Simmons out-sacks Georgia in this game. I'm going to go Texas.
Okay.
Georgia's got 11 sacks on the year.
Mm-hmm.
How many's Colin got? 6.5?
Let's
Something
take
like
a
that.
look.
So, yeah, I go Texas.
How difficult – how much of a disparity do you think there would be? Because assuming Texas does have more sacks.
He has 8. He has 8 already.
Mm-hmm.
He might go for 14, 15 this year if they play all 16 games, 17 games. I think he was hurt earlier in the year too. He's definitely got a bionic arm. I don't know if you've noticed that. He's got a massive brace on his left arm. J.J. Watt style. What was your original question other than the out-sacking? You just asked me another one.
Just like how if Texas does outsack Georgia, how much of a disparity is it? Do they have 5 sacks to 1?
1 or 2. I think you're not. They're really, really good at it, right? Like Collins, especially. Collins really, really good at it. And I don't think the Ethan Burke kid's all that bad. He's got a good power rush too. But you're not so great at it, and they're not so great at protecting. So I think it's a good balance here.
I think
I got this in final notes. It's a very interesting matchup.
Yeah.
I think a point that I saw made earlier in the week was about Gunner's growth and specifically his ability to, when he does take a sack, he's not taking a 6-yard sack. He's not taking a 5-yard sack. Like, he usually does a pretty good job of getting it as close back to the line of scrimmage as possible. So I think it's like, whereas Georgia, like, yeah, they're lacking in the sack department. They haven't been racking those up this year. But I feel like when they have created them, they're pretty timely and they're usually for pretty big losses.
The real question is who can actually get the quarterback on the ground. That's the most important part here, because both of these guys are elite at getting back to the line of scrimmage, like you're saying, or avoiding bad sacks and getting rid of the football.
Right.
All right, now pick another number between 1 and 5.
7.
1 and 5.
-2.
Come on, man.
2.
Who will have less turnovers, Gunner Stockton or Arch Manning?
Gunner, because he hasn't turned it over all that much this year at all.
He
really
Two
has
interceptions.
Like 1 interception, really.
Yeah, and the other one got tipped. Probably should have had one last week. That ball against Mississippi State against a good DB gets picked.
Yeah,
that's fair.
That late throw to Elias, that ball should have been picked off. You should get punished for making decisions like that.
I think one of the biggest surprises I've had from this season personally was the lack of strip sacks that have come from Gunner Stockton. I think we were very worried about, he has an elongated throwing motion, which, by the way, has gotten quicker as the season's gone on. But the worry of, man, there's going to be a lot of strip sacks on this team. And they've had a few, but not nearly as many. It has not been an issue.
I wonder how much of that had just as much to do with the left tackle not having a left arm.
Oh, yeah, that
to
definitely.
close the last 5 games of the year as it did the quarterback's elongated throwing motion.
Oh, definitely.
Because both of those strip sacks that I remember, that left tackle's getting beat like that. So it doesn't matter how quick your throwing motion is. Like, if you're getting someone sacking you in 2.5 seconds, they might get you.
The only one he's had this year is Tennessee, right?
Correct.
And that one was front elbow hit, right? That wasn't in the dip. That's when you worry. Like, the strip sacks where he gets you on the bottom end of that loop. That's when you start to, it's elongated, we got to get this fixed type of talk.
Absolutely.
What's going on there?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Right.
All right, you have 1, 3, and 5 left.
Pick number 3, my lord.
Number 3.
Number 3! Pick number 3, my lord!
Great movie.
Great movie.
What would you rather have? 100 receiving yards from Zachariah Branch or 100 rushing yards from either Chauncey Bowens or Nate Frazier?
Honestly, anything but the gumdrop button.
Nice.
For this game, I'll take the 100 rushing yards. If you can get a guy to rush for 100 yards against this Texas defense, that is a massive impact. Whereas, like, Zachariah Branch, even if he doesn't get to 100, but if he has 88 yards, I mean, that's a typical day this season for Zachariah so far. So he would still be productive. But, like, if you can guarantee that one UGA running back has 100 yards, I think you like your chances offensively.
Yeah, I'd take the rushing yards.
The only reason I would push back on that is that you had 100 rushing. Chauncey Bowens had 100 rushing yards against Alabama, and that did not go well. You have not lost a game this year when a receiver has 100 yards of receiving. Now, that's an anecdotal stat, but
An anecdotal what?
stat. You only have 1 loss, so. All right, now you have 2, or you have 1 or 5.
Give me 1.
Who do you think will be this year's Dalen Everett, where they just take over?
Oh.
Take over.
The Longhorn killer.
Wreak havoc on this game.
Cash Jones.
Oh,
Boy, that's in some of the fan base in a
That's
tizzy.
a deep pull right there as well.
we'll have more on that later.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You got more on Cash Jones horns downing?
No, not that.
Oh,
just
just
Cash
Cash
Jones in
Jones?
particular.
Nah, I don't know. It's a defensive player is what you asked about. So give me Quintavious Johnson.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that.
All right, final one. What is Georgia?
Oh, you didn't give me an option.
There's only one more left.
Would
you like number 5?
Number 5,
please.
What is Georgia's biggest disadvantage in this game?
Edge rushing, like pass rushing. That's it. But you have an advantage. Like your offensive line is way better than theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think their rushing unit is like 10 times better than yours. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't really know. I don't know if there's like a big time advantage. We'll find out when we do positional breakdowns here in a little bit.
Ooh.
I do have those.
Let's go.
If we get to them. I mean, it's a loaded local hour.
It
It's
sure
always
is.
loaded.
You never know. Where should we go next?
How about we give a shout out to our friends over at Ridge? Brooks and I are going to be in Athens basically all day on Saturday.
Yep.
You're going to have to use a lot of phone battery. Going to need to charge that thing up. What do you got over there?
Right here, I got my Ridge power bank. You use promo code Brooks10. You'll get 10% off over at ridge.com. Again, ridge.com/Brooks10. This power bank, I mean, it is a lifesaver for me. I plug a Type-C cord into it at night, and I'm good to go for a good 24 hours on phone life, and I need it bad. I looked at it today, boys. Did you know I watch 14 hours of film a week? I need a big power bank around me at all times. Shout out to Ridge. What else they got over there with the fine
They've got
folks
some
at
very
Ridge?
sleek design wallets that fit perfectly in your pocket, have a money clip on the back. New stylish, sleek design, extremely durable. They also have a money clip that attaches to your keychain. You can fit numerous cards in there. Super secure. Good stuff over at Ridge.
You love to see it. Shout out to our friends over at Ridge. I don't know what the chat's talking about there. What do you want to do next?
We could just go ahead and get positional breakdowns.
Yeah, let me put a microphone on.
All right.
Now, Jonathan, will you tell the fine folks at home why we do positional breakdowns the way we do positional breakdowns around here?
We do positional breakdowns the way that we do them
Because other people do it stupidly.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. Usually you'll scroll around on social media and you'll see somebody doing a positional breakdown of Georgia versus Texas. And the way that they'll usually do it is they'll do Gunnar Stockton versus Arch Manning, or Georgia's offensive line versus Texas's offensive line. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Georgia's offensive line does not play Texas's offensive line. They play the defensive line. Right. Gunnar Stockton goes up against Texas's secondary. He doesn't go up against Arch Manning necessarily. So that is why we do positional breakdowns the way that we do.
Spit that G, Stretch. Atta boy. I hate that, man. I hate when I see it on social media. I hope we get such a large platform that we never see that again in the world of football.
I haven't been seeing them this year. I will say that.
More and more people watch. That's a good thing. It's good for those people, you know. Not that they watch us, but that they're becoming smarter as football observationists, if we will. All right, let's talk about this UGA offense versus that Texas D. It's a good one now. They got good D over there at the University of Texas. Whoa. Let's talk about, hey. Be mature. Lock in.
My bad.
Lock in. Offensive line versus defensive line. Now, here's the deal. Georgia's offensive line, damn good. All right, Texas defensive line, damn good. We got two damn goods facing off this weekend.
Push.
Give me a push. We like a push. We like to get a push up there on that offensive line. That'd be key this weekend for those guys. Now, Georgia's wide receiver core. We ain't picked a single defensive back core to win this matchup this year, and it ain't happening this weekend. Give me the Dogs against that young and banged up Texas defensive back core. Michael Taft going to be back in a cast this weekend. Mm-hmm. That's good news for Texas. I don't think the problem's been at safety, though. It's been at corner if you watched our film breakdowns this week. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts, comments, questions?
No, I mean
a lot of young bodies out there playing for Texas right now.
If I was a Texas fan heading into this matchup, that would be one of my biggest concerns heading into this one. With how good Georgia has been after the catch, how are my DBs going to play up this weekend?
All right, now Texas fans in the chat, don't kill me. I'm going to give Georgia the advantage in the running back versus linebacker battle, all right? But it's not because I don't think Anthony Hill is one of the top 3 linebackers in this sport, because he is, all right? Anybody versus Anthony Hill is a lean for Texas. But I like every other matchup for Georgia, and I think that's fair to say. So for that matter, give me UGA -0, okay? Now, I know how math works. You can't subtract 0, but in this case, we are. All right? We all agree there?
Yes.
Good.
Confused, but I agree.
Now, tight ends versus all. Now, we don't do tight ends versus linebackers. We don't do tight ends versus safeties. We do tight ends versus all. You know why? Because the tight ends in this football game are going to have to be down blocking on defensive ends, down blocking on edge rushers, getting up to the second level, blocking linebackers. They're going to get matched up in the passing game versus a linebacker sometimes in zone coverage versus a safety sometimes in zone coverage. Hell, what happens if we throw a screen? We got to block out in the flats. Now it's tight end versus DB. Do you see what we're getting at? That's why these conversations are far more nuanced than whatever slappy you normally watch to break these things down. I like Texas's matchup here for a variety of reasons. Anthony Hill is their will when he covers or when they cover. When they ask a linebacker to cover, it's either zero or the young redshirt freshman number 26, both really, really good in coverage, right? If in this matchup, who is Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky or Elias Williams or Jaden Riddell? Who are they going to be blocking on the lines of scrimmage? Ethan Burke and Colin Simmons. Those are great football players. I like Texas's matchup despite the fact that I think Georgia's got the best tight end room in college football, okay? QB versus all right? Now, if it were just this matchup last year, if you could take this box play right now for Texas and add that defensive back room from last year, my God, they might be the best defensive unit in college football. But I think that back end's a little bit suspect right now. Give me Georgia with an advantage right here from a totality standpoint, quarterback versus all. OC versus DC. I'm riding the hot hand right now. Few hotter coordinators in college football than Mike Bobo. You dum-dums that were calling me a Bobo defender all offseason. Where y'all at? Where y'all at? It's been real quiet from that chirpy chirp in that department. Thoughts?
Yeah, Mike Bobo finally getting some deserving love from the fan base.
I heard some Broyles Award conversations.
Yeah, I mean, there's been national media speak up and say, "Hey, Mike Bobo doing a really good job." But you know what,
Jonathan? You know what, Jonathan? Ain't nobody trying to hire him away. Ain't nobody trying to get. I don't hear Mike Bobo up for none of these jobs.
Yeah,
must not be well respected by anybody but that best friend of his in Kirby.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense why the guy who is coaching his son right now, who already had a run as a head coach and is back at his former college, it makes no sense at all why that guy wouldn't be up for another head coaching job.
I mean, he's kind of at a shit job, honestly, right now. Yeah. I mean, Georgia's like a top 3 offensive coordinating job in the sport? You can do better. Dude. I mean, go get the Ohio State job if you're any good. I mean, Jesus. Let's go on to the defensive side of the football. I wonder how many people didn't realize we were being sarcastic right there. Texas offense versus that UGA D. Got a good D over here in Athens as well. Got good defense over here in Athens as well. Don't think we're just good D out there in Texas. What?
Why'd you point at me when you said that, dude?
I mean, I don't know. Call HR if you got a problem with it.
You just looked another man in the eyes and said, got good D over there.
Hey, if you got a problem with it, call HR. Georgia's defensive line versus Texas offensive line. Any guesses where I'm going right about now, boys?
Georgia's defensive line.
Scoop! Go Dogs. All right, there we go. That one might get clipped. My bad.
But it looks like you're doing a spanking motion, then you go, go Dogs.
A little BTA. A little Brooks Thomas Austin. How about it? Hey, here we go. DB versus them wide receivers from Texas. I think I wrote a push down here, honestly. I think all the moving parts, DeMello Jones still dealing with an elbow. What you smirking at over there?
You're getting
is just
hooked for your
cooking you for the handwriting.
You're writing U6A over there.
My favorite one was Brooks writes in ocean shapes. Ocean water shapes.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, but it was.
Oh my God,
that was pretty good.
Well, why don't y'all come try to write on this board? It's not as easy as
it might look. Do you want me to come around the board?
Come on, you want to translate my notes too?
No, God,
okay,
no.
I think you could figure it out. Where are we at? Linebacker versus running back. See, you got to get down here low. Linebacker versus running back. Got to get that real power stance down here. You know what I mean? UGA. How about them Dogs? That looks like UEA. So I see what you're saying there. That's on me. What we got next? Linebacker versus all. We just matched them up versus all the running backs. How about in their matchups versus tight end or running through the mid hole against that deep over, right? I still like Georgia.
I think Texas does have an advantage in the deep passing game here. I don't think Georgia linebackers have done a great job, especially in zone tendencies of dropping into zones.
That's why right here, with regards to quarterback versus all, I'm taking Texas right about now, right? When we put all the parts together, Georgia might have advantages in each individual part, But as a collective, they've been giving it up. They've been allowing some chunk yardage back there in that back end. Hey, DC versus OC. The guys pitched absolute shutouts in the win department. Give me the shoe dog.
Yeah, this matchup specifically, in 2 matchups, Georgia has dialed up some stymie defense against this Sarkisian offense. That's for sure.
Stymie.
Which makes it interesting of, like, since it is the 3rd time that these teams will face off in 1 year, it'll be interesting to see, like, which wrinkles Georgia might add defensively, which wrinkles Sarkisian might add offensively, like, those types of things.
Somebody said, get off the arch spoon. Was I ever really like that heavy on the spoon?
No, I mean, I think you had.
I feel like if anybody on this stage would have reminded me how stupid my takes were on Arch, it would have been you. So I must not have been that bad on it.
No, I mean, you were reasonably buying into what he was as a prospect and as a passer, and I think these last 5 to 6 quarters have showcased his potential.
His ceiling, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even think we've reached the ceiling. We'll see what the ceiling looks like when he actually has whole parts around him. The Mosley kid getting back is important. Hey, I'm giving this take because there's a lot of Texas fans watching today. And there's some Texas staffers that watch this network because I've heard from them. Well, y'all actually – I talked to Jonathan about this. We do so much roster research. We go through so much film. We're like, hey, Jonathan, will you pull up so-and-so's roster and look what's this guy? Who's this guy? Where's he from? And when I study tape, I'm doing the same thing. I know Texas's roster is filled with players that were playing good at other universities that they've paid to come play for Texas. And I'm not opposed to that. Everybody's doing this. What I'm opposed to is hiding the information on the roster. If you go look at Texas's roster, if you pull up wherever, like whatever play, you have to scroll all the way down, and then you find this little like paragraph blurb. We stole him from Purdue. We stole him from so-and-so. We stole him from such and such. All I'm asking is you just let me know like way earlier. And I don't know why I'm bickering about it. I don't know why I'm bitching about it. To me, I felt it was almost slimy. Is that weird?
Yeah.
I felt like it was slimy. Like let's hide the fact that we did not have these people, that we took these people off these rosters.
I don't think
Is it a hill you should be willing to die on?
No. And here's what the only reason I said something about it. They're the only school that I know of that does it. It was that noticeable to me that it stuck out to me. I was like, this is weird.
It is a little odd.
This is weird. Every other school is right there. It says previous school, Texas Southern. Previous school, Texas A&M. It says it right there on every other roster. This one doesn't. I just thought it was weird.
Yeah.
I know it's a strange take. You get those every once in a while on this network.
I think it's because it's a niche take.
Very niche take.
Like you mentioned, we're our job requires us to be doing that very frequently. So we're looking at a lot of different teams' roster pages. So we have a good.
And it's the first time I've ever had to go dig deep to find out where the kid's from, and that's all. That's all. It felt like a concerted effort to hide the fact that they got these players from other programs. And I don't see that anywhere else. And there's no reason to hide it. That's what I'm saying at the front of it. So, yeah, I just thought it was weird, as were my takes on it. Unless it doesn't happen, let's get to it. What do you got for me, boys?
Go ahead, Kirby.
Oh, I get to go first unless it doesn't happen?
Only because I'm doing timestamps, okay? Don't get cocky.
I was just saying. So, touched on this a little bit in the Wheel of Topics segment. This player had a big impact in this game last year, and I think he's going to make a big impact in this game once again. Give me Dalen Everett getting another interception. The Texas domination for 6 continues. U6A, by the way. Shout out.
Dang, man.
Heard it here first unless it doesn't happen.
Georgia has 4 sacks in this football game, but also allows 4 passing explosives. You heard it here first.
A little give and take.
Unless it doesn't happen. A little take and give.
No Sunday headlines today. Wow.
I'm a slacker. I'm a bum.
Wow.
Print the shirts.
Chris Cole this was kind of his coming out party last year against the Texas Longhorns when they had Gunnar Helm. They're like, we need a linebacker that can cover and run with him. And Chris Cole did that.
Yeah,
it was kind of his debut as a true freshman.
First debut.
This year, he's been asked to do a lot for Georgia. Hasn't exactly maybe put up the stats that some people expected him to or flashed the amount of times that he was expected to. But I think this game is his breakout game of the entire season. Give me Chris Cole having an interception and a strip sack. Heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
My turn?
Yeah, K6B.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. This is a take that I don't think will be as impactful as people, or will be more impactful than people realize.
Uh-oh.
Brett Thorson.
Oh.
Give me 2 Brett Thorson punts landing inside the 5-yard line.
You better
Aussie,
hope
Aussie, Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
I'm not Australian, dude. I don't need to do that.
That was very mediocre energy.
Yeah, because we're American.
I wish I could do an Aussie accent because I was standing where I'm supposed to be as a photographer, standing in the little dashed white line, and it's right by the punter's net. Mm-hmm. So Brett Thorson and I spend a lot of time standing next to one another during football games. And he has a routine where he spins the ball several times, drops it on the ground, catches it, and he says to himself, let it fly, let it fly, let it fly.
One day I went to the track because they open it up to citizens like me on Fridays. So I was running some laps. And
Civilians,
yeah. Citizens, either one. And Brett Thorson walks out wearing camo joggers.
Hell yeah.
Hell
What
yeah,
a
dude.
guy.
Hell yeah.
What a guy.
One of my favorites. So shout out Brett Thorson. Quick little Brett Thorson appreciation segment.
Let it fly. Georgia runs for 185 yards, but Texas breaks into the 100-yard range on the ground for the first time against a Power 4 opponent all year. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen. Boys, spoiler alert on my final thoughts. I think there's going to be a lot more points in this game than I thought going into it.
Really?
And I'll tell you why in my last thing that I say in this broadcast.
Okay. We talked about the issues.
Quarterbacks are ballers.
We've talked about the issues that Texas's defensive backs have had in regards to getting wide receivers on the ground. Georgia, on the other hand, been one of the better teams in picking up yards after catch. More specifically, one Zachariah Branch has been very impactful for the Bulldogs this year. So give me Zachariah Branch going for 150 receiving yards against the Longhorns. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I like that one.
If Zachariah Branch goes for 150, steak dinner's on me Monday night. We'll go pre-show steak din-dins right up in here.
All right.
Yep.
You grilling them? You grilling them?
Yeah, we can grill them. or we can get it from the clubhouse.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I'll never say no.
Wine and dine me, why don't you?
All right, this one's a pseudo, unless it doesn't happen, pseudo parlay. If you run to wherever you can and make this bet.
Sleeper?
I'm calling this, well, yeah. You know what? Run the sleeper and do this. I'm calling this the Texas Tunyon. Give me Dylan Bell, Cass Jones, and Noah Thomas all scoring touchdowns against their home state, Texas Longhorns. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
The Texas trifecta?
Yeah.
Woo! Longhorns down.
For those who don't know what a Tunyon is, Kirby, why don't you explain it?
If you've ever fancied the restaurant Longhorns Steakhouse, the Texas Tunyon is their version of the Bloomin' Onion.
Ooh. It was better, too, I think. Bloomin' Onion, a little bit overrated.
I mean, honestly,
Texas Tunyon, smacked.
If you put them both in front of me, I don't think I could tell the difference. But
you know what the world needs more of? Longhorns restaurants. Places where I can just throw peanuts on the ground.
That's not Longhorn.
That's Texas.
That's
or
Texas
Logan's.
Roadhouse.
Logan's. Excuse me.
Logan's was also one of these.
Logan's. We need more Logan's in this world.
Five Guys is that way. They give you some peanuts.
Yeah, but I don't feel like Five Guys is a restaurant you should be sitting down and eating in. That should be
Five Guys is probably not a place you should be frequenting enough anyways.
For sure.
Considering it costs an arm and a leg
No
to
doubt
dine
there.
in.
No doubt there. But I just feel
buddy,
like
I get my money's worth in peanuts. Don't worry.
Oh, for sure, and fries. I mean, they're going to load.
They
those
load you
things
down.
Up. They're going to load you up. I mean, load you down with the pigs or with the potato skins.
Yeah, I think we got to move on after that one.
You got any more?
No.
Okay, I got one more. Last conference game in Sanford Stadium for some of these players. So give me this. Oscar Delp.
Hey, we got a Charlotte game.
Last
conference game. Listening is hard. Last conference game in Sanford Stadium for some of these guys. So I'm dialing up. Oscar Delp has a career day against the Longhorns. Josh McCray has a touchdown in this game. Cass Jones has a touchdown. Dalen Everett has an interception. You heard it here first, unless it doesn't happen.
I mean, in that scenario, dogs roll.
Yeah. In that scenario.
I mean, I've only guaranteed 2 touchdowns and an interception there.
Could be more. Could be more. You got any more?
I am all out.
We dump clip.
I guess we did.
It's time, boys. This time of the week, every Thursday, as we close our, what is this, 9th and 10th hour of live content on the week, we get into our final thoughts. And it's a massive football game here in Athens this weekend. All three of us in town. You going to be there?
I live there.
You're going to be there
At
is
the
what
game?
I'm asking.
To be determined.
TBD.
Yeah.
All right. Me and you will be.
Yes, we will.
Leaving bright and early. It's the Rooster Crows on Saturday morning here from the studio. It's going to be a good time there in Athens. If you're in town, come say what's up to the boys. We'll be walking around, hanging out, having a good old time. I'll be in Myers Quad early in the morning with Unc, so come shout out. If you see two very large 6'5+ human beings with a fat-headed dude who looks like he might be, me, it's probably us. Come say hello. So there is that. I want to go last on final thoughts. I got 6 in a row. You know what? I'm going first. You guys get to mop up.
All right.
Here we go. Number 1. These are all key talking points that I'm very, very focused on going into this football game. Number 1, interesting deficiency matchup. Here's what I mean. Texas struggles to protect the quarterback. UGA struggles to rush the quarterback. Do those two things meet in the middle, or does one overpower the other, right? Does one have an anomaly performance? Is Texas suddenly able to protect their quarterback again like they did against Vandy? Is Georgia suddenly one of the best pass rushing units in the country because they're playing Texas? Or is there a little bit of give and take in that matchup? I expect there to be a little bit of give and take. On the other side of the football with those matchups, right? Georgia struggles to consistently drive the ball down the field in an explosive nature. Texas has a lot of leaky back end in their defensive backfield. Okay? It's very, very strugglesome back there. It's very, very worrisome if you're actually watching tape. They got a lot of people running free deep down the field. Does Georgia find a way to end up explosive in that back end? Number 2 thing I'm paying attention to this weekend. Georgia has the better 22, but does Texas have the best 2? And here's what I'm talking about. Top to bottom, bar for bar, I think Georgia's roster is better. I think they're superior. I think they're playing better. They're playing more collective football. The 22 football players, the 11 starters on offense, the 11 starters on defense are playing better ball at Georgia. That being said, I feel like Arch Manning won that football game against Mississippi State. It didn't matter if they didn't have the better 22. They had the better player. All right, against Vandy, it didn't matter if the back end of that defensive backfield was a problem. They had the best player in Colin Simmons. They have 2 players in Arch Manning and Colin Simmons that have played such incredible individual football that they didn't need the best 22. Is that going to show up in this football game as well? I'll be paying attention to it. We talked about it a lot last night, tackling the flats. Both these football teams do a lot in the extension of the run game, or as most people call it, the quote-unquote screen game. By the way, for me, the separation of that, is it a bubble screen, meaning are there 2 wide receivers blocking 2 DBs and we're getting the 3rd wide receiver the ball? That would be a bubble screen, right? That's a extension of the run game play. Is it a tunnel screen? Are we releasing offensive linemen? That is a traditional screen. Is it a halfback screen where we're releasing offensive linemen? That's a traditional screen. That's quote-unquote screen game on this channel. Just for future reference, how we separate those two with regards to extension of run game and, Bobo calling screen passes again. In all actuality, he's called 1 screen pass all year. The rest of those are extension of run game, in my opinion. Okay, so there's that. But anyways, who is the best team tackling the flats this weekend? I think it'll play a major role in the outcome of this football game because it's not just efficiency that they're hunting in those areas of those play calls, right? Georgia has been a really explosive football team, both in the screen game and the extension of the screen game. Fake tunnel or fake bubble screens, explosives, right? Texas has been extremely explosive in just a bubble screen game. Ryan Wingo has gone for 140 yards in the last 2 games in just behind the line throws, right? In these extension of the run game portions of their play call. Number 4, the linebacker play in this game will be absolutely elite. Elite linebacker play in this one. And look, I don't want to get caught up in who's better because I think they're different, right? Because I think C.J. Allen is a 6'1", 235-pound true Mike control, like green dot on Sundays type football player. And Anthony Hill is a 6'3", 240-pound freak athlete that I want all over the field, right? I want CJ in the box. I want Anthony everywhere, right? I think there's a separation of these two, and we ought to appreciate them for their greatness individually. We don't need to be sitting here going, oh, so-and-so's got 32 tackles, so-and-so's got 33. By the way, so-and-so had sacks against SEC opponents. I don't give a damn. They're both great. They're both individually great, and enjoy watching them this weekend because it'll be fun. Number 5. Which X receiver is a difference maker in this football game, right? And here's what I mean. Emmett Mosley, coming back from injury, is their primary weapon, I think, at Texas right now. Number 3, all right, if you're not a names guy. All right, number 3 is their guy. No different than I think Zachariah Branch is your guy at Georgia. The real question in this football game is, does Noah Thomas make a difference, and does Ryan Wingo make a difference? That Robin to the Batman of the passing attack, which one of those Robins gets loose? Which one of those Robins has a big-time football game? Very rare where the X receiver is this kind of secondary role. Both these football teams kind of having that go on right about now. Georgia's a little bit due to injury, obviously, because Colby's not there. I think both having to do with the talent, though. I think Emmett Mosley, he's a lot bigger. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. Zachariah just being, we got to get this guy the ball. He's so good after the catch. Number 6. The most important thing, and the reason why I think this game has a lot more points than I originally thought about. I had this thought arrive today as I was preparing for this football game and this final show. We all agree that these two quarterbacks are elite gamers. They have that back against the wall dude intangible. Do we all agree? Like, we've seen it.
Both have shown it this year.
And it's not, we're not projecting this stuff. We've seen it. It's statistically there with Gunner. It's 85% in the fourth quarter. With Arch, it's the last 6 quarters, but really it's how he's closed these football games at the quarterback position. Guys, I think we're going to have a third and fourth quarter where we see these two elite gamers, elite competitors, back against the wall guys, absolutely ball out, go bar for bar, shot for shot, and we have an explosive, fun third and fourth quarter. I think we could be in for a show. Both these two quarterbacks are so great in the clutch. I think we could see something fun happen Saturday night.
I think people would love nothing more than that to watch, like at least like from a collective standpoint of college football fans, to watch those two quarterbacks go after it late in that game. I think people would enjoy nothing more than exactly that. For my final thoughts, just kind of piggybacking off of what you said, Georgia's defense in this game needs to have a stint where they string together some quick punts. I'm not saying that it has to be a 3-and-out, but I'm talking about 4-play drives where Georgia's immediately getting the ball. Like getting a couple of those back-to-back, getting your offense some quick chances offensively, I think that would be huge in this game.
It should be noted. I mean, they played really clean football to start the football game against Vanderbilt. Kind of stalled out late in the second half, allowing Vandy to get back into that. But the 6 quarters, the 4 quarters against Kentucky and the first 2 quarters against Mississippi State, what you're talking about was exactly there. I think against Kentucky, they had 11 offensive possessions, 5 of which ended in 5 plays or less.
And, like, I know that last week it didn't exactly feel like it, but Georgia's offense over the last few games, they're moving the ball early on in these games. So if you can do it in the first half like Kentucky and Mississippi State were able to do, then you might be able to pick up a lead against these guys going into halftime. It's not about consistency in the run game for either of these teams. It's about the explosivity of the run game. And I think explosives in this game can be classified as 15 yards or more. I'm not talking about you got to get 20 yards or 25 yards. I think 15 yards or more on the ground for either of these teams, those are going to count as explosives for me. So whichever team is able to find their way into those, more of those than the other, I think that'll be a massive decider in this one. Whichever offensive line plays the cleanest, whether it's Texas's offensive line, if they're able to do enough and Georgia's pass rush can't get home like they haven't been able to in previous games, that's going to bode really well for them. And then for Georgia's offensive line, you can kind of neutralize Colin Simmons as much as you possibly can. If you can really get that run game going, I think whichever one is able to do that the best, that'll be another big decider. Then my final one for both teams, yards after the catch is going to be a massive determining factor in whoever wins this game for me, whether it's Zachariah Branch for Georgia or if it's Texas being able to pick up yards in the flats or on screen game. If they're able to find extra yards there, whichever team is able to find more of that, that'll again be a big determining factor.
New show rule. 5 push-ups if you mention Zachariah without saying Yachariah. It's Yachariah, we're going to make it stick.
But he did say that he wants to be called Zachariah.
Well, no, he prefers Zachariah over Zach. He has yet to state whether or not he prefers Yachariah or Zachariah over Yachariah.
Well, there's a good chance you get to ask him on Saturday.
I might.
How do you feel about Zachariah?
Zachariah. How do you feel about Zachariah?
All right. My final thought is going to differ from yours a little bit, Brooks.
Yer.
And it's because I'm not necessarily convinced that the last 5 to 6 quarters that Arch has put on tape against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt are enough to convince me that he has ridded himself of the mechanical issues, the decision-making issues, and all the other issues that we thought we saw with him throughout the first 7 games of the season. He has played great in these last 2 or game and a half, and if he does that against Georgia, they're going to have a very, very good chance to win. But the lead up to this game kind of feels like when he threw for over 300 yards against Sam Houston, it was the Arch is back, Arch is here, he's finally found his swagger, and then lost to Florida 2 weeks later. More than it does, it feels like, oh, he's fixed now. He's the elite gamer that we think he is. I'm just not convinced that. Now, there is absolutely an avenue for him to prove me wrong in that regard. I'm just skeptical of that. With that being said, I think the avenue for Texas to win this game relies in them making havoc plays and forcing turnovers, which they are absolutely capable of doing. They have one of the better turnover ratios in the country. They have Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill. They're going to be able to heat up Gunnar Stockton at some points. I think that there is an opportunity here for Texas to win this game. I just don't know if it's necessarily going to be on the back of Arch Manning playing the game of his life.
We have to capitalize, Jonathan, on this consistent character of show me guy that he keeps pulling out. And consistency is the key. It's all I've ever asked on this network. I asked for it from football coaches. I damn sure asked for it from my co-host. So good job on tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down on Mr. Show Me Guy. And way to be consistent on applying it to both Texas schools, because you're doing this to A&M, and now you're doing this to Texas's quarterback. So it's just a long-winded way of me telling you I'm proud of you for standing 10 toes down on this.
Well, that's what I believe.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe nothing. Aliens can touch Earth right now and come down here and show him that aliens exist. But nope, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I mean, if Arch Manning has a 300-yard game and balls out, I'll absolutely say I was wrong on this. But I'm not. I think that we as media and people, and just in general, it's human nature. You fall in love with the last things you've seen, or you hate the last things you've seen. It's why every time a quarterback loses a game, they demand that he tumbles off of your top 10 list, like stuff like that. It's been a really solid quarter and a half or game and a half, 5 to 6 quarters from Arch Manning. It's not enough for me to go, the mechanical issues we saw for 7 weeks leading up to this and the reasons why Texas offense was struggling so much are completely gone. He is the Arch Manning that we all thought he was at the start of the season.
Chat's got a great metaphor for this. You're a multi-factor authentication guy.
Yeah.
Like, you have to get sent a code to your email account.
Yeah.
You have to. I'm with you. It's fair. I do think that if Texas wins this football game, it's because Arch Manning went nuclear. They can't run the ball.
No, that's
They can't run
kind
the
of
ball. If they come over here and win,
I
it's
think-
because he was the best player.
well. I
on the
mean,
field.
that's
Or
kind of
could-
been in the games that like teams have had opportunities to beat Georgia, like Tennessee, and then also in Alabama and Ole Miss. It's because the quarterbacks had incredible days through the air. So it is like that. The trend backs that up.
Need I also remind us, though, the way Georgia beat Texas in Austin last season wasn't necessarily they just outplayed them for 4 quarters. They just had their way. It was two really opportune turnovers that gave you short fields that ultimately gave you a 23-0 lead that you were able to hold on to. This could happen for Texas the other way around.
Wasn't there a funky couple of punt situations there, too, where their punt returner let a ball hit and they got pinned inside their 5 multiple times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There's a couple of things like that happened. So, yeah. Hey, it's been a great week of shows this week here on the network. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button on your way out. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you do. If you haven't told a friend, if you haven't called a friend that loves ball and said, man, do I have good news for you? There's a place for all of us. It's the Film Guy Network. You need to. Spread the good word, for there is a ball knower. We'll see you on Sunday.